All you need to launch a celebration.
No, I don't. Hey, this is the Antisocial Socialite back at it again. Shout out to all of you wonderful new subscribers and returning friends. Welcome. If you are new to the channel or you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for, darling? Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and as Complex has said, hit the like button. So every time I get to run this mouth, baby, you are in the loop. You guys see the title, you know what time it is. YouTube, the gift that just keeps giving. Maybe by now everybody has heard about this situation with Christelyn Kerosene. You know, I was having a very interesting discussion with somebody on Instagram about this whole idea of me making quite a lot of videos about these ladies and how it was a bit weird that I almost seemed to be fixated on them, constantly making content about them. So in response to the person who said that it's really weird and I think secretly you like them, I decided to make yet another video. Shout out to you. I don't know who you are. So everybody by now has heard about Gabby getting with this white man, and she's showing how happy she is on the internet, and brothers have had a few things to say. I personally haven't watched a lot of videos on this situation because, you know, what can you really say? I mean, I think we all can see what it is. Okay, but something very interesting happened. I'm not sure when this actually occurred, but Christelyn, who, you know, people say I'm weird for making videos about these ladies all the time, but, you know, I'm sorry. Christelyn seems to have an addiction to going to these places and basically talking to black men about black men, or talking about black men when she's loved up with a white man. And I don't really want to just focus on Christelyn. This isn't just about her. This is definitely more to do with this whole victim narrative that she tried to come to the defense of dark-skinned black women because she was upset that they were critiquing her or critiquing the men who are making these videos. Now, we all know that brothers can be scathing, when it comes to female feelings, they don't always take it into account when they are roasting the life out of you. However, I don't find it strange, but Christelyn is doing the rounds. She went toe to toe with Jason and she didn't come off very well. So we're going to listen to the dialogue, and I'm going to give my my commentary. Let me just find the little clip. Oh my gosh, Pete. Ready, guys? Let's go.
Area code 951. You're on live with the business. What's your name?
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Hi, Jason. This is Chris, and I'm calling from the San Diego area, California.
Notice she doesn't say Christelyn right off the bat. She tries to come in with a different name, and then she didn't pick a different name. She just shortened it to Chris. It's like, never mind. Let's just keep going.
Chris calling in from San Diego. What's on your mind?
I just want to say that in regards to this broadcast, I can respect that you have certain opinions about Black people, the upliftment of Black people, but this woman found somebody that loved her, and she went where she was celebrated. In general, Black men are not checking for a Gabby Kanibi. They're not. She found love where she found it. And I think having a broadcast where you're mocking somebody who just found love.
I didn't mock. I haven't mocked anybody.
Humanity.
I haven't mocked anybody. Don't bring up falsehoods on my program. I haven't mocked anybody. I spent the entire first 30 minutes of my program talking about Black men, what we need to do, ma'am. I didn't mock anyone. So first and foremost, let's not get on my program mischaracterizing my statements. That's a very bad way to start a conversation, Chris.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there because I need to find out what day it actually was that Christelyn and Jason had this discussion, because Christelyn actually did a whole video talking about why, she came to this platform. She just happened to be scrolling through YouTube, and all of a sudden there was this video, over 1,000 people in this live stream, and she just decided to click, and she was appalled at how these Black men were dragging this poor woman. And so, she came through talking about what Jason said. I don't know if it was Jason who she actually was talking about or somebody else. I don't know if Jason's ever really done a video on this topic. But she mentioned that there was somebody doing a live stream. We know who the big channels are who can pull over 1,000. So, yeah. That was what kicked it off. So she tried to go toe to toe. So let's listen.
The entire broadcast.
Or should I say?
Dun dun dun.
Yes, you can say my name.
The world's most infamous swirling ass kissing white.
Oh God! Everybody who's got sensitive ears, cover your ears.
To the best.
Now we're being insulting.
No, ma'am, that's a statement of fact. That's not an insult.
Oh.
Be the best be the best white ass kisser you can be.
Yoink.
We don't hate on you here. We don't hate on the girls who swirl. We don't hate on the chicks who do slave play.
Oh, gosh.
We don't hate on none of y'all, baby. Be the best bed wench white ass.
Oh my
kisser
gosh.
you can be.
Sweet baby Jesus.
You ain't gonna get nothing but respect for that. Now, if you start becoming a liar, we can't respect that. But let's just keep it all on the table, baby. We ain't no hate here. We don't hate hoes.
Oh God.
That's reassuring.
We don't hate hoes here. We don't hate
Calling
chicks
somebody
in their.
a hoe is insulting?
No,
Just
ma'am,
wondering.
ma'am. Oh no, we don't hate hoes here at all. Baby, you're in the wrong place
Okay, well,
You're in the wrong place to think about that. We don't hate hoes. We don't hate niggas. We don't hate players. We don't hate punks. We don't hate nobody. Everybody is free here.
that's great.
Everybody is free here to be what they are. But the rule is you got to be what you are. Don't get offended when they call you what you are. Now, you don't get to perpetrate something you're not. Now, that's what you don't get to do. You just got to be real with it. That's all.
Okay, so now one thing I will say is Jason he goes for the throat. Okay, he goes for the jugular when he goes to go in. Okay, and he does have a very strong tone. Like, let's just keep it all the way 100.
Well, he did use the SNV right there, though. So I do have to give him that.
He got along. I mean, she was, soothed by it. So definitely there is merit to it. I was trying to get a word in edgeways on that conversation, but the soft N-word voice is a real thing, man. That's some
Isn't it?
neurolinguistic programming where you just lull the person with there's a whole science behind it, using rhythmic speech and talking in a certain tone, in a certain volume. I've heard it. I was on a live stream. Oh, digressing already. Thanks, Complex. I was on a live stream the other day, and this guy came in. I left that conversation so confused. I had like my top on backwards or something. I was like, what the hell did this brother just come on and say? Even the host was like, what the hell is this? And I swear to God, now I'm thinking it was zero.
Was it?
I don't know, but this guy came up randomly, and it was weird. I don't know. None of us understood what he said, but the host was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I was just like, "Now I hear this, that you guys are going from place to place, using this soft tone of voice." I think we got zeroed.
I mean, look, that has a very real effect.
It does have a very real effect. Okay.
Yeah.
So on the other end of the spectrum, I don't think Jason is always using that, but he definitely got far with Christelyn.
He recognized instantly that he was going to have to do that to kind of rein it all in.
Yeah.
So he's pretty savvy at this. He's been doing this for some time now. So when he had to turn it on, he turned it on. I said, look at that.
Moment where he said, or should I say, Christelyn, you can just imagine like Scooby-Doo with the others and ripping off the mask. It's like, I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you pests.
For you meddling kids.
All right, so he goes to the throat.
Nobody can make you feel less than unless you let them. So go ahead.
She's trying to soothe herself now. She's telling herself this.
And I don't.
That's all.
I don't.
Nobody's here for that. That's it. Now you had something you wanted to
That's
say.
great. I do. I think that women who struggle with their weight, particularly Black women who struggle with their weight, I do try to coach Black women, tell them that they need to seek whatever treatment they have psychologically that may cause it, exercise more, eat better. I have a garden. I grow my own food. Some people still have that struggle.
Now, this bit was really good. Jason was skillful.
That struggle is not a matter of availability of food. That struggle is a matter of lack of discipline and self-respect, man.
That could very well be true.
That's not a could be. That's not a could be. There's not a nutritionist, dietitian, or doctor in America who's going to tell you that it's anything else. If you're going to try to make the argument that there is some biological thing that's afflicting Black women and rates different than other women, then you got to go to some place like Africa or South America where that problem doesn't exist. So no, this is a self-inflicted behavioral problem, ma'am. Not a biological one or a physiological.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Then let's speak of it. Then let's speak. Let's not speak about it like we don't know where it comes from. Like I said.
And that was a question I wanted to ask. Does anybody know if Gabby actually has a condition?
She has never stated that herself, and that's what the confusion a lot of times is when you hear American women give an excuse for something that nobody has said themselves, and American women get into this. Well, maybe. Well, it could be. Well, possibly.
It's a thyroid problem.
Yeah, and it's like nobody ever said that.
You know, and that's why I don't want to jump on this lady, Gabby, because at the end of the day, if she does actually have a physical problem, then that's a different situation. She cannot help the fact that either she's on some medication or
she's never stated that. I mean, I think she's, look, some people, we're all kind of, we humans express like the whole spectrum of biological variance, right? Some are tall, some are short, skinny, stockier, right? I mean, we didn't all hit the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm 5'10", right? Where all my brothers and cousins are all like 6'2" and above. Okay. So I got the proverbial short end of the stick, so to speak, right?
You dwarf. How dare you?
I'm the shortest dude out of everybody, right? I mean, but okay, that happens. And it may happen also when it comes to, body mass. These are just, I've never really heard her specifically indicate that this was some sort of medical condition or something like that. And it's kind of disingenuous to always just defer directly to that. Jason was just speaking to that. Sometimes it just really is just lifestyle.
Speaking to the lifestyle thing, let me add one more. We got to remember she's a young person. This person even hit 35 yet?
I think she's about 30.
No, I think she's 30. I think she's 37.
Okay. So she's in late 40s, but she's just starting to live life technically. And so let's imagine for a second, from 12 years on up, she just got a thing for pastries. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to kick the pastry habit, especially when you got money. Yeah. And if she's not pressing it, why do these American women get on the microphone and say it could be, it might be? That's going down into several different battles and wars. We don't know whether that's the perfect situation.
Well, the thing is, she's never indicated that. And if I actually think back to like a lot of the pressers and stuff that she did when the movie Precious came out, she was more empowering of herself. Like she was more of like a voice for people just kind of like accepting who they are.
Yeah.
And she never indicated she was just like, look, this is me. Like that's all I ever took her to do is she always just kind of projected herself in a positive light. Like this is just who I am. Right. So when other people, it's more projection on their part.
Yeah.
Right. Because I would even say that the thing about Gabby, she has actually more acceptance of herself than the people projecting on her.
Right.
That's true. So I just wanted to clarify because I wasn't sure if she actually.
No, she doesn't have a.
Even when you look at most fat people in history, male and female, it's very rare they come back to us and say, "I had a problem that put me down in the dirt." No, they just up and changed, and people like, look at all this weight such and such lost. Person could have been going through a divorce. Person could have been going through this. You don't know what happened.
Yeah. And that was the thing I was thinking about, because even in the industry, a lot of these women, they try to talk about female empowerment and body positivity. Rebel Wilson, I think it was, came out and said the industry told her to remain fat. She's lost the weight. And look at Adele. I mean, Adele was unrecognizable. I actually said I don't believe that that's Adele, because the face structure completely changed once she dropped off a lot of her weight. And so did she have like other types, like did she have cosmetic surgery along with that? I'm not sure. She did lose it very rapidly. So I don't know if she had some kind of assistance, but she definitely, I mean, the difference is night and day. I really couldn't see the old person in there. I was like,
I could kind of see her face. I saw that picture of her wearing like the Jamaican get up. She was at like some festival or something.
yeah,
I could see it in her. I could see it in her face. I was just surprised as hell that she had slimmed down like that.
how she
She
got
put on
so,
the most. She put on the most weight when she was married. When she reluctantly married her gay husband, knowing that he was gay.
Is that what it was? I heard he was broken, struggling.
No, he was her friend,
Mm.
and she had that early 20-year-old weight. I mean, where she wasn't really fat. She was like your basic Manchester Lower London girl, okay?
Mm.
And she had the thick legs, and you know she wore those muumuus, and it made her look bigger than what she really was. But when she got into that relationship with old boy, she blew up. That's when she blew up. And now that she's not with that dude no more, now all of a sudden the weight's gone.
Well, I think she's with her brother now, right? Ain't she messing with her brother?
She
Well,
messing
that's
with
the thing of some rapper or something, but
yeah,
the
she
thing about it
messing with a
is,
regular dude.
I don't know if he's claiming her or if the relationship is official or what, but
Well, whatever the case, if that's what she's doing, then I think she got on a get right program.
really?
I'm just saying.
Here-
You went from a gay BFF to a rapper.
Here's my question before you move on. Why, now that she lost the weight, why are women attacking and making fun of her for that? Women are always trying to make it seem like the guys are the ones doing this stuff, but
We're getting there, but that is exactly the problem. A lot of it is, don't run ahead. But that's the thing. A lot of the problems are actually stemming from women, but women don't want to admit that it's women who are the real problem. They don't want to admit that it's women that are the real problem. It's women who actually sabotage women the most. And so when you said that, that's exactly what it is. I suppose when you see these celebrities having all of this weight, they become a poster child or something. People look up to them.
Yeah, they do become a symbol.
Yeah, and they want to live through them. They want an excuse, you know.
Yep.
Shout out to Kim from Wifey for Lifey. You know, she was talking recently about, if you guys, she's a Christian relationship coach. She does blogs. She's on Instagram, and she was actually one of the first people to give me a shout out. So I always have to give reverence due if she's listening. And she actually was talking about the concept of the fupa. You know, this when your stomach is quite puffy, and then you wear something quite tight, there's like that bulge at the bottom. And like, I know that recently became a fashion thing, like show off your fupa.
Okay.
Yes, like people with the yoga pants and underneath their breast, and like there is just this bulge.
Huh.
So it's women who support these things.
Huh.
It's not the men. And then when you lose that weight, they will be the same ones to attack you, because now I suppose, well, if people are feminist minded, then obviously you losing the weight and having a certain physique is appealing to men. And one of the things feminists hate the most is a woman doing anything that would please a man.
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I don't recall any dudes having any issue with Adele slimming up, but I mean that was just an observation, you know.
Yeah, a lot of them they said she looks good probably, or they didn't really have anything much to say. But the women, you know, they had an exorcist moment.
Yeah.
Right. So
Sid,
let's
you're
hear.
being dishonest to act like there's some outside reason that's beyond control. The problem is 100% within their control. Now, if somebody's going to get on my program and try to claim it's something different, next thing you're going to be talking about the earth is flat. I don't make my program available for people who deny science and facts. So if the next thing you're about to say is this is not 100% under Black women's control, then we have nothing else to discuss, because I don't make my program available to make believe. So is this an issue that is 100% under Black women's control, how their bodies look? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
All right. So glad we found common ground.
Anytime you guys want to jump in, remember to just jump in. Yeah.
I'm just listening. I haven't heard this.
People still make bad choices to eat badly for whatever reason. This particular woman is not on the top 10 list of coveted women that Black men choose. She found somebody that loved her, and that should be okay.
This is
Would
the
you
thing.
want your daughter?
Something that
Okay, would you want your daughter to make this choice, Chris? Since you're acting as if this is just, well, this is the way she is. Would you want your daughter to make that choice?
I want my children to be loved and go where they're
Okay,
celebrated.
that's not answering my question. Would you want your daughter, if you are defending her ability to make this choice, would you like your daughter to make that choice?
What choice are you talking about? Marrying the man or being overweight?
Okay, Christelyn. Can I call you Christelyn?
That's her name.
Christelyn, do you
Sure,
believe
Jason.
that a woman's outside is reflective of her inside?
No, because I think that people on the outside can appear a certain way and be totally different on the inside.
I'm glad you said that. Do you believe that a man's outside is indicative of his inside?
That was a lot right there. That was a lot right there.
Okay, can I just say this? So let's talk about her Black daughter. Not the light-skinned daughter, but her Black daughter. Her Black daughter, I'm not a hater of how people do their appearance. I'm just saying this because it's not that appealing to most men.
I haven't seen it. I think she doing the nature boy type thing with the polyamorous.
I'm getting to that.
What?
I'm about to tell you, Complex. Her Black daughter has a overly large nose ring, hoop like a cow.
Like what they call the bull ring?
Yeah.
She doesn't have
one of those. Okay.
She doesn't have the little petite one. Is noticeable from a distance. Okay.
Yeah.
She has one of those. Her daughter is currently in love with the white woman.
What?
Who is it? Stop! You guys just listen.
Damn, what the fuck?
I'm gonna read myself.
Her first child before the white guy is a darker brown black girl who just recently went to college and all that.
Right.
The girl wears that nose ring and she has some type of dreads or something, or wannabe dreads or something. But she's in love with the white woman. And the white woman is in love with a white man. Christelyn's daughter has allowed her love for this white woman to be so strong that she's willing, because the white woman is running everything. It's not the white man.
Yeah.
The white Christelyn daughter is accepting of this white man and the white woman she loves at the same time. So they're in this three thing. And I say this, Complex.
Yeah.
The question Jason is asking about appearances and what's going on inside is an exclamation mark on how her older daughter is living. But go ahead, you guys.
No, because here's the thing. Well, this gives it a whole new context. Because, okay, I knew she had an older daughter. That's the one thing I don't know much about her. I know that she had an older daughter with a brother, and then she got, what do I do? And got kids with him, right? Okay, but damn, I didn't know her. Okay, the oldest, see, because I don't think she's raising the younger ones, the light-skinned ones and all that. I don't think she's raised as a femininity coach, mind you. I'm not really sure she's raising them to be that. I think the other one, she kind of like let that one be. Because again, this is an internal thing with Christelyn. I think she has some internal struggles going on here, and it's reflected in basically a tale of two daughters, let's just say. And you just kind of like blew my head up with that one, because I had no idea that was what her whole black daughter, right? The one who has the skin tone that she's telling me is subjected to all the colorism and this. And I would think that she would have put more emphasis on her, right, to be more reflective of who Christelyn herself as her mother is.
I knew that it was polyamorous. I didn't know that it was all white.
But this one, I mean, dude, she's in some bisex tryst of, and she's basically playing in this role. Oh my God. Because think about it, right? You have a white couple, and then they have essentially a black concubine.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I was like, I know there's a word for this, but what is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She's basically their sex toy.
Yeah. The woman is actually the one getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Because she's dominant, and she in that relationship with the white dude, okay, she's dominant, and he's there for it all.
Absolutely, because he's not in control at all. You can even the little show that they had, you could see how every time a decision came up, everybody turned their heads to the white woman.
Wow. Okay, so that adds a whole new layer to the conversation. I mean, I don't know how much I can blame Christelyn for the way her daughters turned out, but definitely.
I would say, once again, Miss Anti growing up in California, her and I being around the same age, I can see how it happened.
Well, but before you continue, go to Complex's point. The daughters should have been the first model for the pink pill success story.
I mean, I don't know, Q. Was I off on that one?
No, you spot on. I mean, because that should be, you have nothing but time with this child, and you should have been showing the benefits of your theory upon the child. So, I mean, the child obviously took some part of it there with a white woman. So, and they're getting
self-hate. Could it be resentment towards the child because the child's father let her down, quote unquote?
Well, we never heard from his side. All we ever saw was the brother, Christelyn Carrison's brother. And Christelyn Carrison's brother led me to believe that she's an outlier in her conduct, and how she sees the world. Because the brother is he's a black man, and he's an unapologetic, about my people type of dude in his presentation. I don't know about it in his life.
Q, you okay? We both Cali bred, right? So
True
she, okay, bro. You especially okay, and you're an older Gen Xer. I'm the younger Gen Xer, but we same era. We came up. We grew up in all of this. Okay, haven't we seen this before?
Oh yeah.
Is this like, you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, isn't this normal with a lot of sisters here in California that were born and raised, grew up in the same time period that we did?
True, because what they did was they always tried to make it seem like that other version of a guy will come. And instead of him actually coming, using Christelyn Carrison's life, she created that white guy. She bankrolled that white guy.
God, thank you. Anti, what was I telling you?
I know you said there's something.
Remember I was telling you this? Thank you, Q.
There's something special. So when you say bankroll, you mean?
She took a dude that was struggling on his own and actually kept him afloat until he can get himself together and make the money he needed to make.
Oh, I see.
But see, this goes back to what you guys mentioned about her other children. Ladies and gentlemen, the grandma controls those kids.
Oh wow. The husband, mother.
Yeah. That family controls those kids. Those kids will never see any blackness at all. They won't even. I guarantee when they get old, they won't even acknowledge much.
They're partially black. Yeah.
The way Michael Jackson kids don't acknowledge much blackness.
Interesting.
Oh wow. That's crazy. So,
Tale of two daughters.
Dun, dun, dun. So if we just go back a sec,
You are defending her ability to make this choice. Would you like your daughter to make that choice?
What choice are you talking about? Marrying the man or being overweight?
Okay, Christelyn. Can I call you Christelyn? Christelyn, do you believe that a woman's outside is reflective of her inside?
Complex was like, yes. But this was a really important question. This bit really irritated me because I'm like, Christelyn, you can see what the question is. And a lot of people would have had a lot more respect for you. And this is not just about her. This is about all of the content creators who do this. There are some men as well. But, you know, the women are always giving each other excuses. And have you noticed how many times she's dodged and deflected from the question being asked? It's glaringly obvious what the answer is. Apart from a handful of women who have real health conditions, a lot of us have poor eating habits. And she touched on it, but now she's trying to play like, I don't understand what the question is. You know, well, what do you mean? It could be this, it could be that. It's like, a lot of the times when brothers engage women online and they get frustrated, it's this that really winds them up. And they try to make out like the women are challenging them and giving them these really hard questions that they can't answer. And that's why they're upset and they just hate women. No, it's this kind of dodging of the obvious that it drives me up the wall. And I'm female.
Let me put something on that. And this is something I applaud the UK blacks on. UK blacks, when they talk, it's a mathematical speech. No. Let me give you an example. When you said when we say things like because I spent time in Surrey, when you say things like, let's go get this sorted out. It's not about let's getting it fixed. It's not about let's come to a conclusion. No, let's move whatever we need to move. Chairs, furniture. Let's get it to the point where it can go no further and it's done. But the phrase is sorted out. When in the UK they say things like a proper stance, okay? That has a little element of honor and duty to it. You know what I'm saying? I had to do my duty. You know, things of that nature. And so a lot of times when black women in UK speak, even though they're not perfect also, but they don't get into these ifs, maybe, could be's, and possiblies as much because the UK pronunciation forces you to have some conclusion in your rhetoric.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I took that for granted or something, but that's, sometimes I think that's what it is. The stiff upper lip and say what you mean and mean what you say and no mincing.
Americans think they invented English.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
So when she's talking, I was just like, the deflection is too much for me. So let's see what else.
No, because I think that people on the outside can appear a certain way and be totally different on the inside.
I'm glad you said that. Christelyn, do you believe that a man's outside is indicative of his inside?
I know Complex was like, yes. Complex?
I'm waiting to hear what she says.
Okay, all right. Let me see. This should be good.
My answer would be the same.
So a man's outside is not indicative of who he is internally.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about.
Okay, now
that's what I was waiting for.
For the women that didn't.
Oh God, I wish I had popcorn. I swear. Go on, Complex. Do you want to?
No, I was just saying no. I want to hear what he's gonna say because that's what I was waiting for.
It depends, but for the men, oh well, it depends. Interesting.
So we're talking.
That man hating. That man hating.
You don't have to gotcha me. We're just having a conversation.
We
You
need
don't have to gotcha me.
Man, it's not a gotcha. I'm repeating
It's
your
really
words.
not necessary.
It's not a gotcha. I'm
It's a
repeating your
civil
words.
conversation. It's a civil conversation.
Ma'am, I'm repeating your words.
You don't have to gotcha me.
Yeah, I'm repeating your words. If it
It's
feels
just-
like a gotcha, you might want to monitor what your thoughts. This might be the first time you actually realize, oh hell, I'm screwed up on this. This ain't a gotcha if I'm repeating your words. I'm just repeating your words.
I think that people can present a certain way and be different than who they are on the outside. That goes for men, that goes for women.
Okay, are you saying that the person's outside has no bearing or indication of what they are inside?
That's not what I'm saying. Don't play gotcha. Let's just have a civil conversation.
There's nothing uncivil about what I just said. Get off the Prozac. All I did was ask a question. You're being ultra defensive because you realize now that you don't really have an ideology you can defend. Because, for example,
No,
if
my
you see,
ideology
okay,
is people
Christelyn,
should go where they love
Christelyn,
and celebrate
Christelyn,
and not tolerate it.
we don't
Period.
talk over
That's
the
what I
host.
called to say.
Comments, gentlemen? Anything?
Yeah. Let me say this.
I'm just
Oh my
listening.
God, they're fighting. They're fighting.
This is why this is happening, and it has happening because Christelyn is stuck in telling a narrative,
Yes.
and she's so into the narrative that she can't organically take on a yes or no question.
No.
Okay, here's what I'll say to this. Okay, thus far, doesn't it sound as if I've been telegraphing all of this to this point?
Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Antisocial Socialite, when I tell you about Black women from California, trust me on this when I tell you I know them. This is textbook. That's why I was like, wait, I want to hear what she's gonna say. And then as soon as she said it depends, I was like, there we go. There's my girl. That I knew it was coming. That's the thing. There's nothing.
There's nothing new here.
There's not. Yeah, I'm just waiting to be. I'm just waiting for everything to confirm itself. And right about now, she's literally checked off every single
It's a
box.
playbook. It's actually
Yeah.
a playbook.
That's why largely I'm just listening at this point. I'm like, this is amazing.
It's almost weird, like a deja vu, when you kind of know what's coming.
I told you we're around the same age. I grew up around them. These were the chicks that I grew up around. That's how I know them so well.
No, obviously I don't know the situation like that. I'm not in the States, and I'm definitely not in that part of, the world in any kind of shape or form. But what really irritated me is just the double standard. That's why I called the video, what's good for the goose. And I think that's partly what Jason is really alluding to and getting annoyed with. It's the fact that at the end of the day, when it comes to the woman, it doesn't matter how she looks and how she presents herself. The Black man should just accept and like it. Okay,
Yeah,
she's black, she's female, she's got a vagina, just work with it. It doesn't matter if she looks like Hunchback of Notre Dame, she's a good person. But it's like when the guy has maybe even all his ducks in a row, there's still an issue. Yeah. And that's what a lot of the Black men really get frustrated about. And that's why she tries to present it as though Black men are angry that these women are divesting or these women are critiquing them or whatever. No, it's the double standard. It's
here's the thing, for social media purposes, right? She's able to sell that, right? But here's the reality, and Q will totally co-sign on this when I say this. The reality of it is that whole SYSBM thing, as you know it, as the current modern day social media meme, if you will. Okay, that started in California, maybe back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, really?
Right. And so it happened way before this became a social media notion, right? So you got to just understand what this is over here is largely a reaction. That's why it's textbook. I can call it out. It's simple. It's easy.
It's not new anymore. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, all this. There used to be a newspaper in Arizona, I think back in 1910, 1916, that blatantly said, "Don't participate in social marriages." And it was a paper that went around to the gentlemen's club. So that theory of bachelorhood or eternal bachelor has been around way before Barbosa said what he said from MGTOW and way before SYSBM.
These are just new. This is new iterations of old
Yeah.
ideologies.
Okay.
And so I say all that to say that in the same thing with Christelyn, when a man knows who he is and what he's trying to do, he's not going to let any variation deter him for good or bad. The same thing can be said for women, but the problem is the entitlement is starting to wear off. And you've browbeat the USA man for so long that now it's like your own sons who grew up in your house don't want to deal with the women who look like you. And you don't want to see that as an issue. You want to do like Harrison does. You want to repackage it, call it the female SYSBM, but for white men only. It just doesn't make no sense when you do all that. So let people do what they do organically, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. Oops, I hear that. Yeah, so I'm just taking this video at face value because I don't know the situation like that. So I'm glad that you guys can give it a bit more context. But definitely, it's strange. You know
Well, you do know this. You do know that when you turn on the USA News, you don't see a lot of white USA men bending the knee. So this Brandon Frankel guy, the last time that happened was the guy who married the actress, and the actress divorced him because of Miley Cyrus. We haven't seen a white guy bend the knee out here for pretty much 10 years. When the last time you saw a white male celebrity bend the knee for a black woman? Or forget Serena's husband was the last guy.
But that was years ago.
Right. We don't see that many white guys.
No, what's happening now is they're getting, a lot of the white chicks here, they're getting the Danica Patrick, Tommy Lauren treatment. They're getting dumped. And then they go and complain about it in the media. That was that whole blow up about Tommy Lauren talking about men are trash, Danica Patrick talking all that crap because Aaron Rodgers he's the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, kicked her ass to the curb. I mean, and that's what you've had. You just had a lot of like celebrity dumpings, basically, when we're talking about like on the white side of things. And it's the same thing is happening. That's really what Q's getting at here. There's no
engaged. I didn't know that he dumped her.
Who?
Tommy Lauren.
Yeah, he left her.
Oh, really? I heard that it was something to do with the fact that he bought, what is it, like a $50K ring or something, but was it on credit? Or he used his expenses to pay for it?
You know, honestly, here's what sparked it. He was running for a political seat here in California. Okay. He was a sports agent. Okay, that's what but he also has like some political ties. So he was running for the Irvine or Orange County district. Okay. He was running as an independent. And basically he basically wasn't going to win. And so he backed out. Okay. And because of this, she kind of took issue with him. And he was just like, you know what, chick, you right now you're just kind of like you're what is that? Was that song "Don't Wreck My Vibe" or something? So he was kind of like, you're wrecking my vibe, and he called the whole engagement thing off. He called it off. Okay, and that's why she went to the media all throwing a fucking hissy fit.
Yeah. I mean,
right? Because he wasn't stacking up. He wasn't stacking up in her eyes. He wasn't going to win that election. And, you know, he's not like one of the highest paid sports agents, but he's not broke.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, yeah, she feels as though that like she's doing better than him. So, yeah.
Because the question is, why, if she gave the ring back the way the media wants us to believe, what would be her extra need to go get on the microphone?
Thank you.
If you're already winning based on your decision, antisocial, I'm not going to deal with this job.
Yeah.
You're going to go jump on your Instagram. I just left Coca-Cola. And what I told you, why?
Yeah, if you're already winning, why?
Why would you do it?
You should be bragging about how you're winning, not moaning about what you've left.
Well, wait, who is she scooped up since?
Because she doesn't have nobody that's going to obey.
To be honest,
well, no. Here's the thing, man. Ain't nobody. There's no one. There's no dude.
Take the on after that.
Thank you, David. Thank you. He was the best she was going to do.
Mm.
and the thing about it is, and the problem is this. Here's again. Q. Actually, man, you and I have talked about this a few times. We both know men don't really cash out. We don't really hit the financial pay dirt until our early 50s.
Right.
Oops.
Very true. Which is why I tell dudes should not worry about having children or being married till they, as a dude, turn 34. When you're 34,
I'm like pro MGTOW until you become established.
Right. When you're 34, if you and antisocial get married, then it's no thing that you and antisocial split. Y'all can split with a handshake because it ain't hurting you. Your checks are still coming. You can afford your lawyer.
Yeah.
It's nothing. But when you're a struggling dude and you realize antisocial working one of these women jobs and her money been coming every day for 5 years straight, and you barely. Now you're mad. Now you're like, it's the system and women. And you're right, but the fact is you don't have lawyer money like you should. And you don't have that until you hit 34, 40
Yeah, you're
years.
not in a position where you have control. You know, you have to have a backup plan. You know, a lot of women always talk about you have to have your money, you have to have your job just in case. Well, actually, the man has to have just in case money too.
But he forgets that, and he keeps putting his penis on the dice table.
Thinking with the wrong head, as it were. So yeah, so I just wanted to touch on that a lot of women, they deflect when they make these conversations. This is not really, as I said about Christelyn, it's not really an attack on her personally, but it's just this continuous theme through all of these content creators, which is why I find them so frustrating, is the fact that they never seem to just be honest. Like, even if you say, like what she said, depends. She always wants women to stand with men.
Depends.
Happens, yeah, whatever happens. You know, when you get into trouble, you don't mind as long as someone else is with you. It's like, I know we're going to go to the principal's office, but at least I go with my friend. It's like anytime you ask a woman to stand alone and take accountability, well, what about the men? Well, men do it.
No. That's called the goalpost. Being incrementally readjusted. I want to use some proper terminology. Incrementally readjusted. I don't want to say moved or shifted, but incrementally readjusted. Depends. That all depends. And then now we can start creating all type of hypothetical scenarios, right? That don't lead us to an actual conclusive or solid conclusion.
It's to keep you in this limbo. You don't actually know what's going on, and it's just. We see what you're doing, Christelyn.
Wait. Is there still more on this video?
Yeah. Why'd you have to go?
No. I wanted to hear like kind of where like what happens here.
Oh yeah. It's 9 minutes in.
Okay.
There's about another. I won't play all, but it's actually about 20 minutes long. I don't know how much we'll play because it gets a bit.
Okay.
You don't do that. That's uncivil and hood radish.
Oh gosh.
You wouldn't want to be that now, would you?
You're going on a tangential plane my purpose
Christelyn,
for calling.
we wouldn't want to be a
was
hood
to
rat,
say,
would we? Because
I'm happy for
talking
Gabby.
over men is a masculine trait. And you wouldn't want to be a square-jawed masculine female. Now, would you?
Jawline.
Oh, I certainly don't think I'm that.
Well, you're certainly acting like it, so I'm bringing it to your attention. So maybe
Oh, really?
maybe you can tone it down a bit. But by the way, your square jaw is sticking out. I'm giving you a moment to address that
Okay.
because I wouldn't want people to think of you as a masculine, combative, belligerent black female.
I think I've been.
We don't want that now, do we?
God forbid.
Pretty
Been thrown at me.
combative. You've been pretty mean and pretty combative. If this is the best representative of your swirling position you can be, baby, you've done me a hell of a lot of favors. All I gotta do is play this call and say, count how many times she speaks over me. All I gotta do is just say that. Just start counting. No, take a shot. Every time she speaks over me, take a shot. Everybody will be flat ass drunk. That wasn't me talking. That's you doing it. All I gotta do is replay it. That's all. But you know what, Christelyn? I would like to ask you a question that maybe you can help me to understand. Because years ago, I did have something I wanted to ask. I noticed that in all this time, you have never advocated or made a program, and I don't follow you like that, so I
Oh,
say
that's the best part of all.
didn't notice it. And you can post it in the chat since you did post your super
The
chat.
internet never
Thank
forgets.
you very much. I would like to know about, since you believe that people should go where they are celebrated, not tolerated, and obviously you would never advocate for unfair treatment between men and women now, would you?
No, I would not.
I'm glad to hear that. Will you please advise everybody right now the reasons why a black man should marry or date white women and give preferential treatment to marrying or dating white women?
Dun dun dun.
I think that it's their preference, and that's what they like, and that's
Ooh.
how they walk, and that's how they
Okay,
can
but
walk.
no, that's not
Everybody
what I
is
asked.
different.
That's not what I asked. I asked, will you explain why they would?
I can't be in the mind of a man.
No, ma'am. Okay, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have made a career out of explaining why it is that black men don't appreciate black women, and thus they need to go where they are, quote, appreciated, not tolerated. That doesn't take you being a black man to understand the inverse. I don't ever see you trying to promote white women being with black men. So you only want to stand up for
They can if they want to.
No, but you haven't
They
given
can
us
if they want
no,
to.
but you haven't explained why they should be. Shouldn't the reasons for them be exactly the same as the reasons that you have always given for black women?
If that's what they want to do.
No.
They want to write a book
Not if.
Absolutely, I'm answering your.
No, I'm saying tell the reasons. I'm saying list the reasons. You've always listed the reasons why black women should date white men. Will you please list the reasons that a white woman
Feed your cat, man.
that a black man should prefer to date a white woman?
Okay, well, is this a hypothetical situation? Am I going to be able to speak?
No, I'm saying you see the real world just like I do. If you can give us
Yeah, why hypothetical?
reasons why black women, ma'am, you spend your time listing off specific reasons why black women should date white men and give preferential treatment to white men. Please list the specific reasons that a black
Why
man
it's taking so long for her to answer?
white women.
If he wants to, let him rock.
It's not about if he wants to.
You see
Everybody
the deflection. You
has a
see the
If he
Wow.
Okay.
The incremental
do you believe that
shifting.
black men
I thought she was going to give me something more substantive, but okay.
rated?
say that again.
I thought she was going to give me something a little more substantial other than just. I'm dude.
That middle bit was classic. That middle bit was classic. Oh.
She can't do that because she's selling McDonald's burgers.
Cute. I'm totally being facetious at this point. Like I said, bro, dude, this is a California young Gen Xer black chick, just like I'm a young Gen Xer black male born and raised in the same area that she is. I'm entertained by all of this shit, bro. This is
I'm just saying for the audience. I'm just saying,
Okay.
she's so busy selling McDonald's hamburgers, she can't answer the question. Can you answer why there's no meat in these burgers?
There's no meat in these burgers? What?
He's like, well, if they want to buy, no. That's not my question. My question is whether they want to buy. The question is, you've talked about hamburgers. Why is there no hamburger in your McDonald's burgers that you're selling?
Want a burger? I need a burger.
Right. And she keeps going back to, well, it's their discretion if they want to buy one of our burgers. Then you were never serious about the topic of hamburgers. You just was using that as a ploy to sell your particular fake burgers with all this filler in it. That's basically what's happening here.
Complex. I'm not going to take you to the cinema because you're the kind of person that tells the end of the story in the middle of the story.
Listen, I know it's appropriate if we're going to the movies, but this right here, I'm just like, oh my god. Oh my god!
No, play the game. I don't know the end of the story.
I'm too old. It's. Go ahead. No. I want to hear what she says though.
This ages you by about 10 years. That's for sure. No, but what I'm saying, let's go back because there was something I think that she said.
A woman should.
Oh yeah, the fact that she won't answer the question. It goes back to one of the last live streams that I did, that this is what got me, the concept of victimhood. This woman, because when she went on her own channel and she made the video talking about these guys making a living, I don't know if I can be bothered to play it because I'd have to skim through to try and find the clip. She was like, these men spend all day, they don't have real jobs, these faceless men who just get super chats. And I was listening and I was like, wait, I swear to God, you have an entire platform and there's an entire genre on YouTube dedicated to dragging black men all day. You have books and seminars talking about how awful black men are. When you do your live streams, do you not get live super chats for complaining about black men? So wait, when the black men do it, it's an issue, but when you do it, it's helping. This is the kind of thing that make black men mad.
Well, it's not only that it makes us mad, right? Because like I said, I'm not mad at this. I'm actually I know, but the amazing thing about it is that like these are the women who will say, you know, they talk bad about all black men, and I'm saying like, dude, her and I grew up in the same area. You can't. There's only a certain group of people you can get that shit off. You can get that bloody stuff off on, right? Exactly. And then the rest of us who are sitting there like, no, okay, but okay, let's listen to your psychosis in action and fine.
Well, that's what this really is. The way she's talking back to him, she actually sounds a little bit like, I don't want to say, I don't know, but she just doesn't sound like, well, when he said I've pulled your card, I've called your bluff. You try. I don't know why she went up. She came on in her platform to say, I just wanted to tell women that you basically don't have to listen to this man telling you that, you know, if you are this size or if you look that way, you have to settle. And she's basically trying to go on the whole trauma bond type argument that you guys are just. Again, this is another straw man deflection.
Exactly. No accountability for no accountability for.
But they always talk about, oh, black women date the black men the most. Well, everybody dates their own the most. Or most white people are with white people. Most Asians are with Asians. Most Jews are with Jews. This is not a phenomenon that's unique to black people. But they always try to present it as though only black women are loyal and dating black men. And again, it's
there's black men that are dating them back. So what would that suggest?
What did I say to you about telling the end of the story?
I'm sorry. Oh, let me mute. I'm sorry.
For complex. I don't want him to be in the dog.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, because he actually said that.
Black men should give preferential treatment in dating to white women.
Because I don't want to admit that white women's is better.
Let him rock.
It's not about if he wants to.
Everybody has a choice. If he wants to, let him go.
Okay,
He can.
do you believe that black men are celebrated and not tolerated by black women as a group?
Oh,
I would
fatality.
say the majority do, and here's why. The majority of black women by far date and marry and procreate with black men.
And
Notice she didn't actually answer the question. I'm so glad I listened to this again. She didn't actually answer his question. The question is, are they respected by black women? Do black women celebrate black men? And she said, no, we give
They
them
deal
babies.
with you the most, okay?
Because her book tour is more important than organically answering.
Now, to the women listening, she answered the question. It's like an answer is giving any answer is the same as answering. And it's like, no, the question he asked is, do black men feel appreciated by black women? And she said, we give you babies and sex. It's like,
majority of black men date and marry black women.
that's a
And yet you
complex.
somehow claim that black women are tolerated and not celebrated.
What I do say is that there are certain
Wow.
issues.
Wait.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Okay, it is a two-way conversation. I said you cannot lie, though. You keep saying that they are tolerated and not celebrated. Don't say, when I answer that question, that's rude for you to say, for me to ask you that and for you to try to sidestep it. That's a direct question.
Okay, can I answer the question? And
You've been asked to answer it about 5 times.
Answer if I'm allowed to do so.
Okay, you have not addressed the first question that I asked. That's what I mean. You did not address it.
Your
I-
first question
I asked you,
was,
do you believe
can
that?
a man, why would
I asked you, do you believe that black men are tolerated and not celebrated by the average black woman today?
Yes, I do believe. No, I don't believe.
question, I said that I don't believe that that is the case because the majority of black women marry, date, and prefer to marry and date and procreate with
Thank
black
you for answering the question.
You see the complaints that are being lodged, so you're just going to disregard that?
The complaints by whom and of what?
You
The
hear
men on the
complaints from
moon.
Black men, so
You guys just missed it. I think you guys just missed it.
isn't real.
Hold on. I think you guys just missed it. He said,
Acknowledge it now.
I think
because
that
you just
Go on,
he,
Mr. Reese.
he said the question was, Christelyn, do you believe black men are celebrated by most women here in America? She said, I don't believe that because I believe black women marry and date mostly black men.
No. He asked specifically, do black women or black? He said, do black women celebrate or tolerate? And she said, I believe they celebrate because most black women, majority,
Men.
right? That was what she said.
Oh, okay. I missed it there. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. But at the end of the day, that's still not an answer. Because we all know people date according to proximity. And
See,
upbringing.
there you go with those mathematical words again.
I'm sorry.
The complaints by whom and of what?
Oh,
you hear the complaints from black men, or you're just going to
The
disregard
dog.
that and say that what they're saying isn't real?
Absolutely not.
Okay, then will you acknowledge it now?
I
Because
think that there's
you just
complaints
said it's
on
not
both.
accurate.
I think there's complaints on both sides.
oh,
Absolutely.
here we go with that
But they're
both
different.
sides nonsense. You see, as soon as she's asked to stand alone, all of a sudden it's both sides.
Because the needs are different, the expectations are different.
Listen to this
We
bit.
are
This
not
is
the
good. This
same.
is
How
rubbish.
are the needs and expectations different?
There's just all these variables.
And I'm a woman.
Did you hear that? Because I'm a man and he's a woman.
Okay,
or
what's that
whatever.
got to do with feeling
Wait,
tolerated,
you can
not
have several-
celebrated?
We are different.
What does that have to
We
do
are
with feeling?
different.
What does that
We
have
have
to
different-
do with being feeling tolerated, not celebrated? What does that have to do with it?
That doesn't make any sense. The reason, the fact that you're different is why you should be celebrated. Because if you're the opposite gender, there's things you can do that you cannot.
No. Wait. Anti, you didn't
I mean,
catch
I know
what
it's logical.
you didn't catch what she's saying here. What she's trying to imply here is that the feeling of being celebrated and tolerated is different for men versus what it feels like for women.
Okay.
That's it.
I do agree. And the way I kind of phrase it is like a satisfaction level. What it takes for a man to feel satisfied and content within his life is often different from what it takes for a woman to feel satisfied in terms of what she wants and how much she wants. And this is why, we're calling names. Cynthia G has this entire series of who they choose. And it's like, look, these black men have extolled these white women and they're just some average, overweight, single moms. And it's like, yeah, but he's happy. He's happy, but you have like a man of means and you're miserable. So who's really winning? The person who goes to bed happy every night. That's who's winning.
I mean, so let me ask you this. This is kind of where
getting a delivery.
Well, okay, here there's a fundamental problem with taking that position. So am I the one who is responsible for that deficit or that discrepancy in respectability, right, and tolerance, right? Because it takes more, I guess.
No.
Right? Am I responsible for this?
No.
Is it too much of me to require you to be a little more sensible?
No. It's
interesting.
Mr. Research, I asked me a question in one of the live streams we did before, and I didn't actually answer it. I'm really sorry. And it was, why do women like thugs? And the answer is simply this. Women today are oversaturated. They are literally overstimulated to the point where they can't be satisfied. Whereas men don't have that luxury. So as a result of the fact that they're constantly always wanting, they can't, even when they have a good man, they can't really appreciate it in a lot of instances.
Anti, let me ask you a question. You say that's very vague.
Oh,
right?
no.
No. That's very vague. They can't be satisfied. What does that mean? What you mean in terms of life fulfillment? Consent. Or are we talking merely and purely sex? What are we talking here?
I'm talking about overall satisfaction in life and consent.
Life. Interesting. Okay.
I have actually got the best man that I could have. Like, I wouldn't want to be with anybody else. This is it.
Well, wait a minute. Does that where a person derives their satisfaction in life is through another person?
Not really, but that when we're talking about from the relationship standpoint, then that's what I'm talking about. Because the thing about it is this, it's like chicken and egg. If you have a good man, I've met women who have had men of means. We're talking about inheritances and land, and we're talking about millionaires. And the person
meant nothing, right? Meant nothing.
Yeah, they either walked away or they wouldn't play the game. I didn't go into the details, but when I heard this person say, this person came into money multiple times, and I'm like, where's your wedding ring? As like, we were dating, I was thinking, slippery fingers, man fell through. What happened? It's like,
well, no, it's
kind of man that you had in your palm. How?
No, I'll tell you how. Because it doesn't. I'll tell you how. It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean any. Here's the thing. Here's what women do. Okay. So, who doesn't like money? Raise your hands. Anyone? Who doesn't like? Who doesn't like money? Okay. So, since no one raised their hands, it's a given. Everybody likes money.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody likes money. So that means that at the end of the day, if a woman had to choose, right, at the end of the day, she had nothing left, she will take the guy that she's not attracted to, but that has a shit ton of money. Why? Because everybody likes money. Okay, but if she had her pick, she wants the dude who will blow her back out and have the money. And if she has the ability to get her own money, then she'll just take the guy who blows her back out.
I don't even know about the money part, to be honest with you. I literally believe whoever makes the woman feel a certain type of way, regardless of what he has, that's it.
I know, but you know, money makes people feel a certain type of way. It's all about the application of it, right? Because I could take the money. Well, no, that it does depend. You're right. Because I could take the money. We could do all kinds of stuff. What you want? The Birkin bag is what's popular right now, right?
You're not a real man otherwise.
Right. So maybe you require the Birkin bag. Maybe you require a vacation. Maybe you require just certain types of dinners. Maybe you just require shoes. Maybe you require, I don't know, fill in the blank. Money will take care of that. It'll assuage it.
Let me use the alternative universe and talk about men in the same way that complex thing. It's the guy who believes getting the bag is so important until he realizes it's not important at all and never was. Or the guy who says, "Look how much how much control I have over this chick or these group of chicks," until he wakes up and realizes, I'm tired of even looking at it. It's that level of it to where. But you antisocial, you're talking about the guy that goes in with everything saying, "Nah, I need to be able to like this person on day 106."
Yeah.
So I'm going to deal with this fuddy duddy over here because fuddy duddy is loyal and fuddy duddy likes me. I'm great. I'm good. This is my highest hand and I'm checking out kind of thing. And these women are always looking like, can I get a better offer somewhere else? And I don't know how to describe it, but I just look at it almost like a bar, a life bar. And the woman's life bar never gets maxed out. She's always thinking, is there someone better? Is there someone?
It gets maxed out because the SMV, the sexual market value, marketplace value, does indicate this. However, women are oblivious to it. They ignore it.
Well, it gets to a point where they can't ignore it.
Okay, it does. Okay.
Then they have to, they get that reality check, and all of a sudden, they reinvent themselves as ready to settle down.
Wait. That's a reality check?
Well, yeah, because every woman gets to a point where they're like, oh, why is it when I was in a shop looking at furniture. This woman was complaining on the phone. I go to the club and then none of the guys are checking me. And I was like, this is a white lady. She looked like she was about 50. I was like,
oh, geez.
You're looking like you're about 50, late 40s in the club, surrounded by 19-year-olds and 22-year-olds. Really? Are you surprised? I just was like, how much is this wardrobe? How much is this wardrobe, please?
I'm going to say, sweetheart, don't settle. Don't settle. You won't be happy.
That's just like the lady who was on my the polyamorous website that I frequent. This lady sent me a message, and I explained to her, "Hey, do you understand the lifestyle? Do you know what this entails?" And she sent me a message. Well, it ain't nothing but tricks and hoes on here, and I see that blah blah blah, and I'm like, can you explain to me what did you think you were about to get from the site that you joined? And I'm still waiting for her answer.
Friendship and companionship and a level
that far ahead.
Right, that isn't the site you joined.
So you can see there's a lot of delusion. The delusion is strong with this one. So let's go back to the video.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
go
was
ahead.
really crazy. It was crazy.
If you let me explain, I will.
Okay, sorry. What do you mean if you let me explain? We have been here for it's 16 minutes now. I swear to God, from when you asked me the last time how long is the video, it's like 9 minutes. You've been here nearly 7 minutes and you still haven't answered the question. We're all waiting for you to answer it, Christelyn. Sorry. Let me my Prozac. I need some Prozac.
Monologue. Try to condense it down to 30 seconds.
Okay, I appreciate that. There is a 72% out of wedlock rate within the Black community. We can argue about who's at fault with that, but that is
that's not an argument.
That's not an argument. That's not an argument.
And it's a problem. It's a problem on both sides.
Here we go again.
There's also a problem with the fact that Black women outnumber marriageable Black men by 2 million.
Oh, here we go.
Also, a problem is that only 43% of Black men actually do marry, and of that 43%, 20% marry interracially. And so that leaves the pool very small.
Oh my
I
God.
want women to date Black men, white men, Hispanic men, hell, Eskimos. I want them to go with their love. It doesn't matter to me. I celebrate Black love. If it's with 2 Black people, I celebrate that.
Okay, but here's the problem. No. That's a false statement because you say if it's between 2 Black.
It's actually in my book.
No, that is a false statement, ma'am. Because if that were a true statement, you would also be promoting Black men to marry women who don't look like you. And you have never advocated to Black men. Let me take a few videos to extol and promote to you that you should marry and date women who don't look like me. Christelyn, you've never done that.
I'm not speaking to Black men because I'm a Black woman.
But you're not a white. But you're not a white man either. But you are always praising and encouraging white men to talk to Black women. But you're not a white man. So how can you sit up here and how can you speak to white?
Interesting.
No, but you're always talking. No, ma'am. You made a whole website and a whole career.
Interesting.
Men. But you're not a white man, but you certainly want to speak for them about why they should date Black women. You've made whole videos about here are the pros of white men dating Black women, but you're not a white man. So you're not in their heads, but you have no problem speaking for their heads on their behalf.
Interesting.
So why are you to Black men?
Black men are free to date and marry.
Check, Christelyn. The word is checkmate.
Interesting.
The word is checkmate. Supposedly you can't speak for Black men. Supposedly you can't speak for Black men because you're not a Black man, but you may spend your whole half your adult life speaking for white men and saying all Black women
about dating interracial.
And you've spoken specifically to the pros saying white men, here's why you should be with a Black woman.
Interesting.
White women to say our white sisters, let me give you some of the pros of why Black men should prefer to be with you.
Well, why haven't you done such a thing?
You're not going to tell white women, hey, here's the reason Black men should date someone who doesn't.
What, the complex design is right here in Los Angeles also.
For yourself. And by the way, I do have to speak on behalf of Black men everywhere I say.
He's right there. Why don't you guys go after him?
Doesn't exist.
Married to a white man and make a career of talking about Black men, because if I was your husband, I'd have left you at a bus station.
No, listen.
Somewhere. If I woke up every day and you were talking about Black men as much as you do, because clearly you're obsessed with Black men, and the only reason you got the white guy around is gutter sex. And if I were him, I would be too offended to have a wife make a career.
Wow! Everybody, buckle your seatbelt.
That's just for me right here. He's probably different, and what he's getting from you is probably, some really mammy-ish Aunt Jemima things. So I mean, hey,
interesting.
There's no way in the hell I would have my wife talking about how much she doesn't like Black men, and then is running around talking about that. I just wouldn't do that myself. It takes a special type of emotional imbalance to marry a white man and spend all.
I need a beer.
This is some cuck behavior. Jesus. If I may just be brutally honest, this is some cuck behavior. If I were him, I would tell you the very next YouTube video, post, or comment you make about a black man, I am out.
Sayonara.
But then again, he and I are two different types of people. I'm a man, and he's married to you.
Okay. Well, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me mute.
Yeah. Anything you wanted to say?
No. I was waiting to hear a response.
Can you respond to that?
Wait, I was waiting to hear her response first before I respond.
Dear, you're
We can both
40.
agree on
You're
that.
40-something years old. Ain't nobody checking
And
for
gorgeous.
you, babe.
Oh
I'm
God.
gorgeous.
Okay, and
Look
that's
at
gotten
my
you
pictures.
what?
I'm gorgeous.
First of all, that's an
I'm
opinion.
gorgeous.
First of all, that's an opinion. Second of all, so what? Halle Berry's gorgeous, and she beats the socks off of you.
And she's
And
mad.
both of you are not really, and
people
neither
are
of you is
still
something a
getting
black man
checked for
wants.
her.
And neither of you is something that a black man's trying to wipe up or keep. Imagine
Good.
that.
Lord.
Imagine that.
Good.
What is a
Good.
black man
That's
gonna do?
wonderful.
What is a black man gonna do with a 45-year-old over the hill swirler black female? What's he gonna do with you, Christelyn? What? Tell
I
me.
don't care. That's
Yes,
the
you
beautiful
should,
thing.
because
I don't care.
if they can't do
You did.
anything,
You wouldn't talk about us.
if they can't do nothing with you, that's like a Ferrari with no motor. You're not gorgeous. You're just a used to be gorgeous, used to be car.
Oh
Trying to-
God.
Trying to
Yeah,
talk,
it went.
you're
it-
trying to talk your
I'm
way
glad
into
a lot of the men
desirability.
don't believe what you believe.
Dear,
It's
the only
all
about
the members, ladies.
the only thing that a
Those
man's gonna do with
celebrated.
Christelyn is
Oh,
have
no.
You don't
sex
need to
with
be
her,
with a man
but he
who
ain't
talks
gonna
to you
keep
like this.
her. Nobody's gonna
Doesn't
keep
have to
you.
insult you.
You're gonna be like
Doesn't have to
Sidibe.
talk down
By the
to
way,
you.
Sidibe can get
Doesn't have to
sex.
call you
What does
names.
that mean?
Lady,
Sidibe is able to get men to have sex with her. And guess what? Christelyn can get dudes to have sex with her. You know what that proves? That the bar is just that damn low.
Oh.
Big that you gotta
Finish her.
The bar is just that low. And what did she come out with? Well, they'll have sex with me. They'll have sex with me. I'm gorgeous. They'll have sex with me. First of all, gorgeous.
They'll have sex with me.
It's an opinion. Second of all, it don't mean nothing. How many of them are willing to part with resources?
Can you pause for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she said they'll have sex with me and then I'm gorgeous.
Yeah, she said, that's your opinion, I'm gorgeous. And he kind of added, I think, the inference that you're basically saying because men find you sexually attractive, basically. You're trying to put it in a nice way. But how many times have we heard this on Kevin Samuels thing? I know a lot of people question the callers, but I mean, this is coming from Christelyn's own mouth. I'm gorgeous, meaning men want me. But the question is, how many will wife you? And that's not a shot at Christelyn or anybody. That is a question that all women have to ask when they make that kind of statement.
Well, wait, okay. Well, who? I mean, because she's got a husband, right?
Mm.
Yeah, she's got a husband. So somebody did wife her. Kudos, chick.
Well, yes, of course.
Kudos to you. You got your husband.
Exactly, true. But the thing about it is this, he's trying to say, well, you know, men find me desirable. Say I went out back on the open dating market, and it's like, well, would they?
Well,
You know?
here's the thing. You're a married woman with the ideal white husband. Why would you even be entertaining such a thing?
I know. Why
would you even introduce that scenario into the ethers?
You tell me.
Well, she should tell us.
Christelyn, come here right now and tell us. So that's the thing. Yeah, you know, I don't know. But this is something that a lot of women do mistake. They do mistake sexual attention for actual genuine commitment and care. And as a result, they end up getting into situations with guys they shouldn't be in because they believe that they can either manipulate the guy into more through sex or sex equals love, which it does not. So
Yeah.
it was, the ending was a bit, it's pretty much over, but I mean, Who else?
Well, you said that video was pretty. You said that video is pretty much over.
Yeah, there's literally like 2 minutes left.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is the reason why, again, I really took the angle of like sort of telegraphing all of this, because the reality of it is that I guess women believe, right, especially like guys like myself, as if because I think that's the thing. I think that I always kind of, okay, so when you hear the whole narrative of that whole settle down thing, I want to find this kind of guy, I'm tired of playing games. Okay, dude, those are red flags to me. Right? Those are red flags to me. So if all of a sudden I become like the option to you, and then that's like sort of like your selling point, you just basically gave up the ghost. Okay? So it's kind of like
You're basically telling on yourself that the whole time you've been playing.
Well, no, I mean, and the thing is here's the funnier part. This whole time you think like you act as if I didn't see it. Who was out there at the same time you were single and all this shit? Who was out at the bars, the clubs, and all this and all that? Who saw it all?
Yeah.
That's the amazing part. That's where it's just sort of like sometimes I really do scratch my head and I wonder, like, dude, do women really apply intelligence?
And this is why a lot of the conversations that these women have is a bit annoying as well, because when they say things, like even going back to Christelyn avoiding answering the question about should black men go to other races of women, the actual point here was, do black women want to acknowledge that there's a reason why black men date out? And that's what trying to force her to just say, yes, the reason why they date out is because we have issues that they don't want to deal with, and sometimes they have a better experience with non-black women.
Or what if the guys who see, because they always harp on this certain number, because that's a small number of dudes who date out, right? But what you always hear about is that it's always sort of like the educated, the more upper crust guys who are doing it, like 30-40% of them or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, as if there's no correlation to the cultural narrative, right, that says that those same guys are fucking lame. Bloody lame. I'm sorry. As if there's no correlation. It's like, well, look, you can't really... Look, you may as well just write those dudes off anyway. You weren't really trying to mess with them. What they were a plan B. They were. The word here is were.
That's
the guys who
their backup plan is gone.
Right, and the guys who would, and then there's another term, would be. The guys who would be the would-be backup plan, right? They've already started dating out.
Yeah, because
so basically what that leaves women with basically the pick of what it is they are actually attracted to, and it leaves them with that and just that.
Yeah. Because the other day, Mr. Research asked about dating out, and I don't know if it's because now I'm actually more conscious of it, but I have seen so many young black guys with non-black females.
All of my brothers married women of other races. I could tell you it's in my family.
Was it all along, and I just didn't notice because I was still like, everybody's with black people, or is it actually? It really has become a phenomena amongst the younger, the millennials. Yeah. I'm the only dude in my family who got married to a black woman. Put it like that.
Well. See, here's the thing. Let's talk about London real quick, or any part of England. When I was there was different, so I'm going to ask to see, or let me pronounce it, ask, to see if it's changed. Don't women of all skin color approach guys to see if he have proper chat?
Yeah.
Okay, so whether you're dark, light, white, it's no big thing to step up to a guy, hi, what you doing here? Where you're from. It's nothing big for her to strike up a conversation in England, right?
No.
That's a big thing here in the U.S. Women are against approaching guys and saying hello.
Really?
Now, what do you think about that as an Englander? The fact that from France to Belgium to the other side of Russia, all of you women, regardless of skin color, have decided you're going to see if this bloke has chat, what y'all call chat.
Yeah.
You're going to see if he's a proper geezer, right?
Yeah.
But and geezer just means, for all you non England people, smooth cat daddy. So if he doesn't have all that, you've discovered and you've moved on. Here in the US, she never, and this goes to Complex's point, she never gets to discover, because she's constantly in the state of, you need to come to me. And when the only people coming to her are wolves and reptiles and maybe the occasional lame, she gets so used to the wolves and reptiles and having that temporary sexual fling that she decides, what do y'all say in England? Have a go. She gets so caught up in having a go that once she wakes up 2.5 years later and had all these partners from going on a holiday, now she looks back and say, everybody from Lower London is trash. Huh? Based on what? Because all these guys that wait a minute, but what does that have to do with all the dudes in Lower London? I mean, there's some fine dudes in Lower London. What are you talking about? Well, I had such great experience with guys in Brighton Beach. Okay, why are you not with those guys in Brighton? Why do you feel the need to talk about Lower London? That's the problem with the USA. The women are in this entitled state of mind where they're like, not only do they expect for Complex to stop his car, walk over, and present himself to her, but if it doesn't go well, she's going to talk bad publicly, even to the enemy, talk bad to everybody, that people who look like Complex are just trash. Based on what? Why don't you go up to the people that you find appealing and start some chat up? They don't do that.
Yeah, I can see that's the problem. That is a problem. I mean, it's poor social skills, but I don't think it's unique to London. I think it's a mindset of certain people, and I think it does happen here as well, where women just assume that guys will make the first move, and when they don't, it's just like, well, why didn't he speak to me? It's like, well, why didn't you make a general conversation first? I think one of the big problems between, especially Black people, is this assumption that anybody being nice to you is trying to sleep with you. I really do. I think that's a big problem. There's no such thing as friendship. It's either we don't speak at all or we're having sex. There's no in between. And that is a big problem, because you can't form a healthy relationship that's kind of progressing at a healthy rate if there's no friendship. So we just need to be able to have basic communication, which is something I think a lot of Black people maybe lack. Definitely a lot of the women. Everybody fall asleep? Everybody gone? Okay. Ah. Okay.
Everybody's willing to part with some sex. Is anybody willing to part with resources for Christelyn? Anybody? Anyone? Well, the girl who swirls hung up. The girl who swirls tapped out. Was it something I said? What can I say? She tapped out. I didn't hang up on her. She tapped out. She tapped out. She's a middle-aged female trying to convince us that she's a hot commodity. Baby, who you fooling? I'm not being insulting. You're 45, 46 years old. Are you really trying to tantalize us with all these 20-year-olds and 22-year-olds out here? You really think, what are you trying to say? What do you think you're saying? Please. Chris. No, you got famous the wrong damn way. That's all that happened. You got famous the wrong way. You got famous the wrong damn way. Come back on amateur night. You called in when the varsity team was handling the phone lines. Come back on amateur night. Call the high value posers and the red pill retards. Go call them. Go call the MGTOW morons. You ain't ready to swim with the sharks.
Okie dokie. So that was a real doozy. Now I did like the fact that she kind of took shots at the red pills and the guys who are doing the high value thing, because they do have valuable content. But this was kind of a lesson in the straw manning. Stop the straw manning. Stop trying to always deflect and make out like the problem is just the men. Because if you get the person who's not going to get, because you see, this is why certain women like certain places to go and to gather, because they can storm you with a ton of questions and word salad and things like that, and then just emotionally get you going. And then when the man reacts, they're like, see, he couldn't take the challenge. He couldn't handle a strong woman. But, as much as, Jason comes off a little bit arrogant, he was composed, and he really I don't know why she called in, because you're supposed to know by now what you get when you call Jason. And he really handed her behind. And that's for a lot of the women who like to kind of play these mental games, that, just be intellectually honest about the situation, and then we can talk. But once you refuse to be intellectually honest, you will get somebody who will just make you look ridiculous. And the fact that she couldn't even say, well, we'll have to agree to disagree. She literally just dropped the call. Her connection could have gone, but I don't think she even called back again. So,
well, it goes to what I said of her narrative. So she called.
Yeah.
She called to start off talking about, I have evidence Gabby got these issues. Well, you can't even start off that conversation because you have no evidence. You're just making a speech about how you.
Her whole premise is founded upon a conjecture. It's not actually based in any fact. You don't know that no black men wanted her. For all we know, the men that wanted her, she didn't want them. But she said right at the beginning, Gabby doesn't look like the kind of woman that men would want, a black man would want. Well, black men are some of the biggest daters of plus-sized women. So how did you work that out?
Let's segue into a comparable story. Serena and how she cheated on Drake and got pregnant. This is a little known story. A lot of people don't know this. But Drake came out to watch her play tennis. During that time, she stayed at a hotel, met her now husband. Everybody can go look at the timeline. And while that tennis tournament was still going on, Drake was not out there any longer but she had her first fling with that guy while still in a relationship with Drake, and while the white guy was with this Ethiopian science student.
Oh, okay.
Y'all can go look up the dates. The tournament concludes. This was around the time, and I love this part, where they have their third meeting. She meets her out here in San Francisco. They're sitting at a restaurant, and please go look up that video because it's very telling. A guy walks by, a white man walks by, casually picks up her purse and exits immediately out the door. She jumps up to chase him out into the streets of San Francisco by herself. Alex never stands up. Alex never moves. Very telling. She goes out there, confronts the guy in the street, and gets her purse back. Okay. 6 months after that, she tells Alex she's pregnant, and then she's celebrating it on Instagram. At that time, the Ethiopian science student finds out she's not in the picture no more. I say all that to say this. That was a black man you was dating, a black Canadian guy, but a black Jewish guy, but you were dating him. You chose to interact with this other person. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, but that's what you chose to do. So a lot of time when women are walking around here talking about, I can't find this, I can't find that, it has to do with timing. It has to do with who you are at the time. One thing I like about other cultures, you rarely see two pretty people together. Somebody's always fuddy-duddy. Either the husband fuddy-duddy, he's a Latin husband.
Funny looking.
Well, but ain't nothing wrong with being fuddy-duddy. I feel I'm fuddy-duddy, you know? But you'll find a immaculate woman with a fuddy-duddy guy, or you'll find an immaculate man with a fuddy-duddy woman. You rarely see two pretty people together. But here in America, these women are told, he must be this and he must be that. And the only people who fall in that category is the young, hard penis brothers. And when you look at most of these women out here on these celebrity shows or what have you, who are they always with? Young guys.
Yes, that's true. There is a high emphasis placed on looks in the black community by the women. Like, looks trump all, looks and sex appeal. And that is, this is why you have a lot of black women with these sexy homosexuals. And then again, they're complaining that these men are not able to do certain things, but you only cater for or look out for the men who have certain sex appeal but nothing else.
Exactly. Because it takes a lot for a guy to tackle the world.
Yeah.
If he can get out 7 miles and still have time to tackle the world, then the last thing he wants to do is come home to some confrontation or some anti-male words that your girlfriend does.
And that's the thing. Oh, sorry, I was going to say something based on what you just said. Hi, Brown Bird, you all right?
Peace, Chiefs. What's going on?
I wanted to say something based on that as well but go on. It will come back to me.
Oh.
What did you say, babe?
Nah, I mean, Mr. Research was just talking, and I'm just like, I agree with everything he says. It's just like the whole problem here that I see, out in society. I don't know if I came in too late, but it's just very simple for how the man just wants to operate. It's really not that big of a deal. You just have to show the signs of comfort when when you're dealing with a man. You know what I'm saying? It's just really not that hard and difficult to do. But and all the emphasis that's placed on our women in society, they just completely want to rail against it because they want to be in charge. And I'm just like, it just doesn't work like that.
Here's the thing: if I was a woman, I would simply do it like this. Hey, I connect with this guy. call me a gold digger, whatever, but I'm connecting with this guy based on how well he produces. For all the 50-50 dudes, you just wouldn't be for me. I need a dude who's out here trying to produce. Now, I'm going to interact with this dude, and we're going to, he's not going to get denied 80% of his crap that he wants, okay? But meanwhile, his connections, his whatever, I'm trying to build my side of the point thing too for the sake of these kids. These kids, I'm going to be hard on them. I'm going to make sure, I'm the mother at this point. I'm going to make sure these kids are educated because they're going to protect me when I get old, okay? So that's my goal. Now, homeboy gets out here and he starts doing outlandish stuff. I'm going to have a conversation with him. Hey, don't embarrass me. Don't blah, blah, blah. You're supposed to love me, yada, yada, yada. But what I'm not going to do is have a whole bunch of arguments. Now, you leave after, let's say, 4 years. 2 of those years, you should have been stacking. You should have been working these connections. The whole purpose of being married is to double your assets.
Yes.
Not to coexist.
Yeah.
So if I'm a woman and I have not doubled my situation after this 4 years of marriage, that's my fault. But I need to double this situation. The guy want to leave. Hey, you know what, Charlie? We just ain't meant for each other. Let's go ahead, break up, separate on the real. I got stuff going on now too. We had a good run. But that ain't what's happening. Is people want to be in control. They want to make other people suffer. Look at Dr. Dre's wife. Lady, you was with this dude for all this time. You should have been like Tracy Edmonds did with Babyface. She made all these connections. You should have been like Pebbles. She made all these connections. She created TLC. It doesn't matter whether her marriage stopped. But for you, Dr. Dre's wife, I'm just giving an example, it matters because you never made no move. You just kicked your feet up. And for all the women, no matter what nationality they are, if you're a kick your feet up type of woman, no wonder you're mad because you never tried to maximize the marriage.
Well, that's the thing right there. Like, that's what I'm looking at when you just said that. It's just the fact of the matter, like, it's never no, I understand in this partnership, I have to bring something to the table also. It's just like, oh, yeah, well, he has resources. Therefore, if it runs out, I'm just going to scoot away and I'm going to use the system to get over on him. Like, that's premature thinking, I'm thinking, but it's just really simple to see that inside of itself,
I actually heard a woman say that on Instagram. It's like, oh, well, if the guy, I said to her, like, think about when you have a child, who is actually going to suffer more? Because a lot of women, they always try to say, well, it's 50-50, it takes two to make a baby. I said, forget about that aspect of it. Think about who actually is going to suffer the most. Well, that's what child support is for. I was like, wow. So you're telling me you're going to have a child, you are going to suffer, the child's going to suffer, but you know that you spited the man by putting him on child support. Yeah. I was like,
yeah, and that's the sad thing about the women that you view. I don't care about what nationality, like research was saying. I'm just saying, like, they have a predatory mindset. It could be a good man. It could be a good man who's about his business or this, that, and the third. It's going to be that one flaw in that woman that's going to look at that man and going to be like, I'm going to take him for everything that he got, or try to demean him while in a relationship or in a marriage. I've seen this too many times. Too many times I've seen this.
That's true.
Now, my mother had the reverse happen. My dad was on some nonsense, some insecure nonsense. And this happens, and just to be fair and balanced, it does happen to women sometimes.
Yeah.
My father, because he wasn't excelling in his situation, he tried to stop every growth that my mother had. For example, my mother's mother was still alive when she was 28, 27. My grandmother wanted to leave Arkansas, where she was, she had 3 or 4 pieces of land, which is now at a like truck stop area, right? But at that time, she had 3, 4 pieces of land. She wanted to sell that and move right next door to her daughter. Oh, that's a house for sale? It's only 12, 15,000. Oh, I can buy that. My father jumps up with his insecure ass. Oh no, I'm gonna buy it. But never did, but never bought it. My mother wanted to make a move and pick up some other property and do the fence. No, I'm gonna take care of it. But it never happened. See, this is the reverse of the same coin. Getting with people who talk more than they produce, it's your fault.
Yeah.
No accountability, basically.
You know, one thing that changed my life was when I was having a conversation with a guy once, and I was telling him about this guy I knew, and he's like, oh, every girl cheats on me. And the guy turned around and said to me, well, that's his fault. And I was like, oh, I expected him to be like, you know, these women are like this, these women are like that. And I was like, he said, yes, because at the end of the day, if you saw the red flag and you didn't take note, you willingly put yourself in that position. And as much as I felt like I was somebody who did believe in accountability, that took my understanding to a whole new level. It was just like, wow. He said, everything that happens to you in your life is your fault.
Right.
And when he said that, I just was like, and I was like, yes, because you have a lot of control over what you allow in your life. And so if you accept certain things, you have to take responsibility for it still being there. And I was like, you're right.
Let me blow your mind.
I'm gonna say real quick, bro, like just off of that point, like I that's why I try to tell myself, especially, like, everything I do is on me. I don't think that a lot of people in society, as much as they say accountability, they don't preach it, they don't practice it. And it's like you have to hold yourself to that standard at the end of the day. Homeboy that's sitting up there talking about he's getting cheated on, that must have meant you was going for the same type of woman that for her to be cheating on you. So, you know, I always preach that. My bad.
I do agree. That person, sorry to cut you, Mr. Research, when he told me about the girlfriends, they were similar in the way they operated. And I thought to myself, didn't you kind of see a pattern here? Or don't you see that there's something in you that makes you gravitate towards these type of women?
Yeah.
So it's like...
No, he's just talking about the situation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Guy that I was telling my friend about, he told me about more than one girl who did pretty much the same thing. And part of me could understand why these women couldn't respect him. But at the same time, I'm like, why do you keep picking this same type of female? Didn't you learn from the previous situation? It's like, so that's why my friend said what he said. He's like, if this guy keeps seeing the red flag but ignoring it, well, he can't complain about whatever happens to him.
Right.
Here's the thing. I have seen in my life, I've gotten to a point where you have to get purple kryptonite to affect me. I'm beyond green kryptonite. I'm beyond red kryptonite. It just doesn't faze me. And the reason being is when a woman cheated on me, I thought nothing of it. I thought, oh, great. Now we can break up. Imagine that. Here I am with a person that I'm like, oh, I kind of feel like I really like this girl. Oh, she cheated. Oh, great. Thank you. Because I wouldn't want to move forward with this situation. You know what, sweetheart? I ain't mad at you. You wanted to get somebody else's all to the good. Imagine how calm I am speaking to this young lady. No, sweetheart, really. It's all good. I'm not mad. Because when it comes to this red flag stuff or just relationships and period, you got to realize Mother Nature, God, powers that be, is going to put situations in your way to make you undoubtedly know this ain't going to work for you.
Yeah.
But it's you wanting to keep having sex with that person. It's you wanting a person who dresses in nice suits. It's you wanting a girl who wears polka dots and you didn't even realize you was attracted to polka dots, but some way, every time she puts this particular dress on, you go crazy. You got to know you so well that the minute this person betrays you, Brown Bird, you pull out the cell phone video, you tape your wife deep throating another man in y'all bedroom, and you say, great, just like Mr. Research told me. Now I'm going to use this and take it straight to court. Oh no, sweetheart, keep doing what you're doing.
Roll out. Roll out.
Sir, you are great. No problem, sir. Hold that pose. No problem.
You need a towel, bro?
Mr. Research is going to go sit on the porch. I'm finna call 911 because I need witnesses. I'm finna call 911 and let the officers know I have a gun. But hey, I really don't have a gun. But I'm finna sit on the porch and I'm gonna be seated in the sitting position, not in my car, not standing. And when the officers roll up, they're not gonna feel threatened at all. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, I decided not to get the gun, but just look at this video, officer. Now he's my witness on the scene.
Nice.
I'm not calling no police officer. I just want that to be on the record. But
Thank you so much. You will be appearing in court for me. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. But I can say this.
Her plane lands at 9. My game just rewind.
I say this to people all the time. Like, if your partner cheats, man, just thank them, and just be like, "You've saved me the trouble of having to remove you from my life."
It's a blessing.
Yeah, you've let me know that this is not working, and I'm not mad at you. It's better that I find out early or whatever, or you tell me you're leaving me for someone else, and you just go your way. Life will go on, And for people, I can't understand a person who does a crime of passion.
Because you as a person should have never stopped advancing yourself within this marriage or relationship.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they do.
You're too invested, yeah.
And that's the problem. That's another thing that I touch on is that infatuation stage. That infatuation stage is a real big deal in relationships because people can't get out of that fantasy. And they'll stay within it and they'll be like, oh yeah, this person really likes me or da-da-da-da, this and the third. Look, listen, man, we all been there sometime in our life, but it comes to a time where you have to realize, okay, yeah, you can have the looks. That's cool. You can have the personality too. But I would dare not ever try to put you on a pedestal to make it seem as if you're so perfect, I have to lower my standards down for you. It's just not going to work. I'm still going to be my own man. You're going to be your own woman.
Yeah.
When I read my first Iceberg Slim book, and he I think it was Horson, and later I found out about Iceberg Slim's life, how his stepdad was an honorable man, Brown Bird. His stepdad was a businessman, antisocial, but the mother still left him for a square jaw broke dude. She left that comfortable situation where she's being pampered, but she got to deal with a 6-inch penis. But she being pampered. She took her and her son away from all that comfort to go from motel to motel with this square jaw guy. And when they ran out of his money, she went back to the husband to creep in the house and steal some more money. She stole so much money. Yeah, this is a true story. Go look up there's a cartoon about it actually. Go look up the thing on Iceberg Slim. Ice-T did the movie on it. When he was down to his last few dollars, staying afloat, the square jaw dude was beating his mom so much that he made the mom start prostituting. The mom went back a third, fourth time to get money from the stepdad. Took his last few money, and that's the last time Iceberg Slim saw him. And he decided, and mind you, Iceberg Slim, this was the only daddy he knew. He didn't know his real dad. He loved this stepfather. But when he gave his last dollar on that fourth time, Iceberg Slim said, I forgot about him. I decided I'll never be him.
That's crazy.
And but it goes to that thing where this is why I appreciate some of the women, no matter their skin complexion, who deal with guys that they not really turned on by, because we men deal with women we ain't necessarily turned on.
Yeah.
And for a woman to sit up here and think, I gotta always be turned on by this person. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Nobody on the planet works like that. Nobody on the planet works like that.
That's more of a deflection than anything else. That's a reason to always have a way out. You know, dating a guy with a back door open, because that's just unrealistic. And if you love the person's mind more than the physical, then you could have a long-term thing going. But you know, if your mind is more on the superficial, then yeah, of course, that's just not possible.
I think we because when I was traveling internationally, I saw people with small houses. I remember Lower London Road, little small cul-de-sac houses. But these people tolerate each other. They tolerate each other because the other person is tolerating them, and they know it. Which is why in England they say stuff like "be kind." Hey, we tolerating each other. I understand you out here selling meat pies, and maybe it's raining again in London, and you ain't make. So today I got you a whisker here, not much a whisker candy bar, and oh, thank you, babe, darling. I always think of you. I mean, it's nothing. But then you come to this American crap, and it's like, forget the fact you think of me. Why you not helping me? Well, I'm not helping you because you ain't doing it. Next thing you guys arguing about stuff that really don't matter.
I'm gonna add on my point to what you're saying. I find it so disappointing because nowadays when I talk about, like, especially what I would offer to a relationship, I'm not looking to fight. When I speak to certain couples out here, they'll tell me the dumbest reasons why they broke up. And it's like a lot of the times you see the insecurities in these people. Sometimes they just get into relationships because they just want somebody. They're not dealing with that person because they could grow with them and try to find ways that they can double up, like we were saying earlier. It's just very shameful because it's just like they'll nitpick at so many different things that you say. It just doesn't matter. Why are we fighting over trivial things when we could just be getting over situations together and coming up with an advisory or a move that we don't have to, fight and get in all these reckless arguments. It's kind of like, I was to peep this for a second. An example that I like to that I'm thinking about right now is when Alicia Keys and I forgot the brother DJ Swiss
Beats.
Huh?
Swiss Beats.
Swiss Beats, yeah. Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys had talked about like how they resolve conflicts when they with each other, when they get into a conversation. They'll be like, look, listen, we're going to go on a date or something like that. We're going to speak at this table. Whatever we speak about at this table is going to be final, is going to be over, and then we just going to move on with it. And I mean, that is such a beautiful way to deal with things because obviously at the end of the day, as people, we're not going to always see eye to eye on things. That's just natural. But that's a problem now. I mean, I see in relationships a lot. Like a lot of people is not trying to put in that work. Everybody's trying to live in this perfect bubble. Like, oh yeah, I have the perfect relationship. Nobody does, bro. Nobody does.
That's true.
Well, that's better for Swiss Beats because see, I'm glad he's doing that now because he screwed up the first relationship by not doing that. But see, he was a young dude, came into his money fast. He was a young dude, came into his money fast, got with a girl that was already a singer and already established. Well, you start doing the sucker route. You just start paying her to make her shut up. Okay. And that grew and grew and grew and grew. Now you can't sit and have no conversation because you done put yourself in a position where you just throwing money at everything. And see, this is another thing dudes be blaming chicks on. No, how are you leading this chick? The best thing I did for my ex-fiance was say, hey, look, I don't give third chances. I done said this to you once. I done said this to you twice. It will not be a third. I will have these Mexicans at this front door. You are dealing with an established man who gets 2 checks every 2 weeks. I am not hurting. I will have these Mexicans at the door pack up all this shit in 2 hours. You better quit messing with me like that. We sat down, we had a discussion. I listened to your input. I asked you questions about your suggestions. Your suggestions didn't hold water. You acknowledged that. We moved on and we came through with a plan. But for some reason, 2 weeks later, you're not following through with the plan. And you just got caught up in doing something shady on the side on your own. And now you need my money to get you out of it. We're not going to do that again. Tried it for third time. Hey, Mr. CA, where do you want me to pack this? No problem, mano. Just get... Oh, in the morning. Try not to wake the neighbors. I swear I got three of the Mexicans had them pack up everything. 2 hours flat.
You move cold like me, man. Jesus. I could see me doing something like that. Just I have the guys on deck, bro. I'm under the covers with my full clothes. As that guy steps through the door, it's like, guys, come on, pack. You come back and find the place gutted, bro. Oh. But that's how it's got to be. You've got to establish a boundary. When you say it, stick to it. It's that simple. I bet she won't do that again.
Well, see, here's the moral of the story, and this kind of goes to what Brownberg kind of suggested about people break up. She ended up getting with a church guy who told her everything she wanted to hear and put the Lord into it. But they had 2 daughters. Well, the minute she had children, that became her new husband.
Mm.
And now he's no longer a factor. Now they separated. She's doing her thing, he's doing his thing, and she puts all of her energy into the kid. But therein lies the problem again. It was never really about the relationship.
Yeah, it was a means to an end.
Right. Crazy.
Yo, I'll be out in the panels. Peace to y'all. Good night, y'all.
You gonna say something?
Thanks, Brown.
I'm gonna peace out.
I think she has a delay. She has a delay.
Okay, well, tell her I said peace. Mr. Research, I see you in the back.
All right, then, man. Are you still there, Anti? Well, while we wait for Antisocial, because something must have went on with her connection. Let me also say this. When it comes to the guys who are out there, talking about the women, it's the same thing. Don't put yourself in a position with a woman who has the potential of betraying you. There was this Asian woman left me this message earlier today. I looked at that Asian woman. I said, I'm good. I'm good. And that's some way you got to do it sometimes. You got to put yourself in a position where here comes this exotic Asian woman, Indian woman, and you're not fazed. Go ahead, Antisocial, you back.
Yeah, sorry. Struggle Wi-Fi struck again.
It's all good.
So what I was going to say is, Christelyn's hypocrisy was the biggest takeaway that I got from that thing. And it's, again, I don't really want to just focus on her because it's not a witch hunt against her. It's about the whole, that sector. And there's hypocrisy on both sides. Yeah, let's just be honest about that. It's the fact that when she's asked very simple questions about why is it that Black men also want to leave the Black community and date out, she is not able to be intellectually honest with the person that she's calling. And then to say on her channel, the reason why I called in was because I had to put on my cape for all of you Black women whose feelings could be hurt. This is that manipulation that she often likes to use. And people ask me, why do you always talk about these women? Why do you always critique them and whatever? That's the reason. The excuses actually make Black women, they put Black women at risk. really and truly, the message and the narrative that she peddles puts a lot of black women at risk, because at the end of the day, you have to be accountable and you have to understand your role as a female. And if you cannot understand that, you are definitely going to be in situations like whatever, mixing with the wrong kind of men, having children by the wrong kind of men, whatever. And then in the end, you're blaming the guys when you should be blaming yourself. And this whole, I needed to fly in and protect these women from horrible Jason. And why do you go there to be abused and gaslighted? This is the word she's using on her channel, that these men are offering you a plate of crap and telling you basically to eat it. And I was like, no one is forcing anybody to watch any channel, Christelyn. They're not there against their will. They're there because they want the truth. They want to hear what men actually think and feel about things, because they're tired of hearing this sugar-coated, pandering message. But the results are speaking for themselves. Okay, these people are not getting anywhere. They're getting older and they're not having success in their relationships, no matter how much you talk about the brown skin. And that was something else that she used with this lady, Gabby. She couldn't help being overweight and brown skin. The overweight she can control, and the brown skin is not the problem. But again, it's like this deflection all the time to something that she can't control, instead of actually talking about what she could control, which is what we saw with her deflecting in this piece. So yeah, go on, Mr. Research.
Well, how do you feel about, and this ain't just her personally, this is just the inconsistency. You had a bunch of other swirlers feel like that Christelyn stole some of their money with one of her event scheme situations. Now, I'm not saying that to put her on blast. I'm just saying, going against what you're talking about with Gabby, the appearances don't necessarily mean anything. Whether it's Gabby or whether it's Christelyn, what comes down to the end of the day is what are the actions of the person. You got a bunch of women walking around talking about men are mad that Gabby's with a white guy. Guess what? Right. We don't care. I went on Twitter for a whole 2-3 hours trying to find some guy who was actually ticked. I found one gay guy who said, and I know he gay. He had a big rainbow next to his next to his picture. He said, "Black men are mad that she got a snow soldier." Then you had about 24 women underneath him commented, "Oh yeah, they gonna be mad." And even a white guy came up, "So I'm a so snowger now." But guess what? Straight men didn't say nothing about that. I made that comment. He jumps in. What does that mean? It means that you're not a regular dude. You're not a straight dude. You're making comments about what straight dudes are saying, but nobody on this entire thread, and it's over 500 comments, is saying nothing about this woman. But you. What you mean regular? What do you mean regular? You're in league with the women. But you're using your guy.
Yeah.
Right. But you're using your guy thing in a weaponized way. We're not saying nothing about this woman. I don't mind Gabby is in that situation. I don't mind Hallie's in the situation. And I wish some of these young boys didn't mind. But here's the bigger problem. They're seeing these icons of people. And they're just concluding everybody that says anything must be a black man. Most of us don't care. Most of us just don't care.
This is what I was trying to explain to somebody that I was having a really long conversation with. And once again, when you go in the comment section underneath Christelyn's videos, all you have is, these men are so jealous that we're moving on. These men are bitter. These men are angry that we're finally expanding our options. I'm just paraphrasing. And I was like, who beguiled you? Who bewitched you? As it says in the book of Galatians. Who lied to you that anybody's losing sleep? Like, the only men who are bothered are the men living off of you. The guys who are sleeping on your couch and eating out your fridge all day, they're the only guys who are caring that any woman with like 2 cents to rub together is gone to a white man. Most of them are not batting an eyelid. And this is what I try to explain to this person, because it's just the avatar. And, you know, the account was created like 5 minutes before they started engaging me. So we don't know who the hell is on the other side of this profile on Instagram.
Right.
But I'm trying to explain to this person, no black man is losing sleep over women divesting. Very
Not at
few.
all.
No one cares. What black men are really frustrated with is the fact that black women are not intellectually honest when they come to the table.
Don't even mention.
We all are influenced by this feminist thing. Even I was saying before, I didn't think I was as much of a feminist as I actually was. And when I look back on some of the comments and things I've said over the years, I realized, yes, you had some of these leanings.
See, what we guys are saying is, don't mention the phrase black man at all. Just go be happy. Go be happy, like millions of IR interracial relationship people. You never even know who their partner is.
Yeah.
Because they're not sitting up here waving it like a flag. But
well, that's the thing with the spoiler, it's more about spite.
Right.
It's not about having a relationship, it's about spiting black men.
Right. And to be truthful, I say the same thing to some of the SYSBM guys. I tell them, like Supreme King Coon, dude, don't talk about black women, because 30% of them are okay. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling how you're feeling, talk about your Asian wife and how great it is to be on the Asian side of things. I mean, you can do that, but just to talk about black females, you do everybody a discredit. So talk about how great you got it, and maybe that will draw people more your way. But just to get up and call people names, you're doing the same thing Carol's doing. You're just doing it in a male body.
Yeah.
We got to be in the mindset of the enemy don't care that you're UK black. The enemy don't care if you're Welsh black. The enemy don't care if you're Saudi Arabian black, because they're selling them in Libya right now. The enemy looks at everything as black. So when black people get off this tribe stuff and start looking at it from the standpoint of the enemy, the way Brazil is, woo, you see Brazil? They are banding together hard on negra. Boy, they inspired me.
And that's what we do. You know, I said it before. We're going to do. You guys can come help me. A video on the concept of a black code, because that's really what the problem is. And I know you call it the flag. We need to unite under some type of code. But the problem is, you know, do you need like a critical mass of people? Because at the end of the day, if there aren't enough people to enforce it, it's the big problem with the black community is obviously that the female is the linchpin, and if she refuses to play the game, then the whole thing falls apart.
Well, let me give you some blacks that are on code, but other blacks don't like it. The Boulets.
Yeah. The
Boulets are not a misandry or female first type of collective. They're a children first collective.
Okay.
What it don't matter if me and Antisocial are married. Our Boulay thought process is what benefits these kids. We don't have to see each other, you and I. You could be gone for 6 months making a movie. I could be gone for 3 months producing a record. It don't matter. See, in Boulay, cousins marry cousins. Now, I'm not suggesting that's what we do. I'm just saying that's how strong they are about an outcome.
Well, that's what the Ashkenazis.
Hmm?
the Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, was it them? Those are some of those banking family types. The guy made sure all the cousins married each other to keep the wealth in the family.
Right. And that's how it was throughout time. I mean, a lot of this is your cousin type of scenarios. That's how the aristocrats stayed on point. And again, I'm not saying that's what folks should do. I'm saying the code needs to be that severe in order for our mouths to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I don't care if I saw antisocial walk in the street. That's my third cousin. Let me quickly cover her and get her off the street so she don't ruin the family name.
Yeah, it's true.
Not sit up here, oh my God, that's my cousin. You know.
Let me get my phone out and go on Twitter. Right.
Or you see Mr. Research whoremongering at some brothel.
You filthy swine.
Right. Instead, here's my anti-social. I'll pay his debt. Here, take this bag of coins, cover him, whisk him out the back. Do it now. All this to protect the family name.
Exactly.
So that's the problem with blacks. And what I say all the time is why the plantation was able to exist.
Yeah.
In England, once antisocial started getting educated, oh look, Charles, antisocial can read properly. Read for Charles, antisocial. Oh, 'twas the night that, oh, bravo, antisocial, bravo. You barely had what was called horse whippings, barely, during the slavery of England. But in America, horse whippings were like a every 4-hour thing.
Yeah, of course.
And you didn't want people to read, and you didn't want people to get educated. So that's what we got to repair. That's why I call it flag cultures, because it has to have the ability to shut up the other person. Even when you see antisocial with her breast out, close your mouth. No, I'm using very extreme situations. Close your mouth. Don't tease her. That's your countryman. You ain't gonna have no Nigerian making no world star videos against another Nigerian.
Not like that, no.
No, not like that.
Yeah. There's a degree of pride in your identity that, because the thing about it is this: a lot of black women and some, how can I say, these effeminate guys who like to use the expression, well, white women do it too. You need to understand that expression is an indictment against yourself. Because if every race of woman, for example, is doing the same thing, but yet the perception outside is so high, what does that tell you? They know how to protect their image. You think between themselves they don't know what they get up to? Like, nobody can fool me about any group of women, because, London being multicultural, you mix with different groups of women anyway. Social media's opened it up, but even before social media, no one could fool me about other groups of women. And it's like, well, white women do it too. Yeah, but why does everybody hold her in such high regard? Because they know how to protect their image. They know how to close their mouth and pretend like, they're very quick to disavow people as well. This doesn't represent all of us. It's like 90% of you. This doesn't represent all of us. It's like,
right.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's like, no, it doesn't. But black people, it's like, even if the ratchetry that we see on social media is only 10 or 15% of all black people, that is actually how all blacks get viewed.
When I saw, go ahead.
I was just saying, so the fact that we don't value protecting our own image, our own identity, having a code. And again, this is another reason why I don't respect the swirl movement, because when these guys from outside of the community, not really, I think white women do it too as well. But they're more, I don't want to sound racist, but women from other races, They play the long game. They're a bit more strategic about how they will treat you.
Outcomes.
They know that they know when I finish tucking you up, you are in your car. You are stripped down to your boxers by the time I'm finished with you. They have it all planned out. Whereas the black woman will just go off. But after the shouting and the cussing wears off, there's nothing else. The white woman, bruh, that's prison. She's stripped down with nothing. You came into the relationship with everything. You leave with nothing, like a bad game show. So it's like the white women know how to play the game.
Absolutely.
And the black woman just doesn't seem to understand that you've got to think ahead. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but
no, you are.
They protect the part of being able to play the long game is partly predicated on protecting your image, and the men and the women understand the value of working together. When these average white men hear black women praising them to the extent that they do, they're like, we are just average. There's no respect there even for a black woman. And that's why sometimes even white men will look at black women like, don't you see my white skin? And I'm looking at you like, and they're like, don't all of you worship us? It's like,
right.
No.
Right.
That's a handful on social media.
But that's what he's been told. And when you couple that with the fact that a lot of white guys are not talented at anything, yet they find themselves in lucrative scenarios through connections.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. They aren't necessary. And see, this what kills the black people when they say, if you got the skill. No, white women taught black women that. It was never about the skills. Because when you go to white communities, Cleveland, Ohio, they are doing on-the-job training with their family members. Their family members are getting a check while they learn.
Yeah.
But many women here in the United States, they're telling people out the front, no, you got to know this part of the software. You got to be this. I lost so many interviews with black women just because I knew 85% of the stuff they was doing, right? Because it's my industry, right? I work in medical finance. Well, what is a crossover? I'll never forget, a lady asked me, what is a crossover? This is an irrelevant term. I didn't even know it was a term at the time. What it means is the system, not you, the system automatically checks to see if this insurance doesn't cover, are they eligible for Medicare, state funded stuff. When the way I was working, we just did that as a norm. We just did it. She didn't cover, so let me see it. I didn't know there was a term for that. But the black lady, didn't want me to have a position because I didn't know that. Everything else I knew. So it's that type of behavior.
Yeah.
It's that type of we are better than you behavior, or even when you look at our politics on TV, how it starts off as black people, but then when our black women in the USA get the microphone, it turns into a we women. Well, how did that happen?
It's true.
We women. I thought it was black. Did you see how Ice Cube got attacked?
Oh my gosh, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Jesus.
That was an open show of just black women parading their behind. It was, and I tell you one thing though, I was really encouraged when you go over to Fox Soul under that video, they got dragged, and it was women upon women. This is embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing. I'm ashamed to be a black woman. You guys did him dirty. I mean, I hardly found any comment. I don't think I found one comment that said this was a good interview or you guys brought up some valid points. It was just dragging. And I was I
tell you what's so funny about that. They took the first video of that down.
No way.
And reloaded it. And when they reloaded it, because I think somebody must have thought, oh, this is just a an outlier. This can't be how everybody. Let's kill this video. Because I had a link to that video, and that video went dead. Let's kill this video, and they reloaded it 24 hours later. The same clip, right? Got the same response, and when they got the same response, they just left it up.
And then they got Roland Martin to come in, and that was just, I was even going to do a review on it, and I lost the will to live. He's talking about how he wouldn't do this, and if the opponent was talking, he would just be silent and ask him, are you going to stop being rude? And I was just like, really?
Yep.
This guy has gone to get professionals who actually talk about issues to do with the Black community from people who actually study it, and he's put together a plan that even politicians who get paid to do that job have not been able to somehow do. And all you can ask is, what about Black women? And Roland Martin's here talking about, I'm going to be silent and ask the man, are you finished yet? Are you going to stop being rude? I was just like,
wait. Even worse, if you go look up Roland Martin, and I think her name is Karen Breeze. She's from the Black Caucus. He recently asked her, and I've been saying this even before it happened. He said, well, it doesn't look like there's a lot of Black people that Biden is appointing to his cabinet. You and I know, and he told Karen, you and I know that the power is really in the chief of staff. So he doesn't have a Black woman as chief of staff. He doesn't have a Black woman here. She has like 2 or 3 Black men in some irrelevant areas. But where are the Black people? Here's Karen's response. Well, we've suggested that, and I screamed at the TV. Suggested. I thought y'all was holding him. I thought y'all was going to hold him accountable.
That's it.
And Roland, to his credit, I give him credit. He pushed back. That don't sound good. That don't sound good. You talk about suggestion and then Black folks is not seeing stuff. He said, same thing I said about Obama. You doing XYZ, but you ain't got nobody saying you doing XYZ. And you guys are having these conversations and you're just saying that you're having a conversation. There's no proof of it anywhere that anybody can see.
Coming out, yeah. And that's
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's politicians all over. Do you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of them will tell you whatever it takes to get the vote. But again, and the point I was making with that is when Roland came on, the demeanor was completely different. They were very accommodating. They were willing to listen to what he was saying. There was no talking over. There was no bad attitude. And I was beginning to wonder, is it because you didn't want to get dragged a second time? Or is it because this guy is saying what you want to hear, even though he's not actually going to come through? He's not actually going to get any result for you. Is that why you like him? Is that why you're showing him an ounce of respect?
I think they were saying that because he was in agreement with a lot of things they said. Because, see, this is the point I made, and this is why I say I need to. Sorry, there was some background music. But this is what I said about why I need to get more into politics and being on the TV even more. Because this is what I would have said. This hate for Trump was so huge. And I got to put people on blast. Just because you hate Trump doesn't necessarily mean Biden is going to come here and do great things. We was told Reagan would be a better president and Jimmy Carter was a clown. Turns out we were wrong. Jimmy Carter was the best president ever and continued to be a president for the country even when he didn't have to be. And Reagan killed all of the union jobs, even white union jobs. Then we had Clinton. Clinton talking about how terrible Bush 41 is. But we wouldn't have known all the dirt that Reagan did if Bush hadn't released the papers.
Oh, no.
Okay? But then we get Clinton, and Clinton created NAFTA and the crime bill.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So just because you hate or despise this other person doesn't necessarily mean this new guy, smiling as he is going to come in and not work against Black people. Here's my last point. The 2008 no cash bail, please look that up when you get a chance. That was Biden's creation from his 2008 crime bill plan. So you're going to lock people up and not give them and their families the ability to bail them out? You're going to rely on a computer system, and the computer system is going to determine whether you get to see a judge that lets you out? What are we doing?
I know that there's a bit of contention there with the concept of the crime bill, because at the end of the day, if you're not committing crime, then it doesn't apply. But if you're locking people up for ridiculous reasons and things that shouldn't be criminal offenses, for example, then that's foolish. It's a waste.
No, it's not. It's not foolish. It's actually very smart, because it's under something called broken windows. Broken windows talks about the appearance of things means that there is a crime. If antisocial is wearing tattered clothes, the appearance of that to the officer justifies that she's a criminal and must be investigated. While the person with the suit who just took millions of dollars, because his appearance doesn't look like it, he gets to keep walking. So broken windows is that thing where if I arrest antisocial 400 times in a 4-year bracket, I get to say crime is high around antisocial's house. Well, why is it? Because arrests matter more than convictions.
Okay.
To the crime rate. The crime rate is judged on arrests. The crime rate is not judged on convictions.
Okay.
Black people only make up 1/5 of the convictions they get arrested for.
Okay.
Two-fifths of the people cop to a plea just to get out. And the other two-fifths, the case don't stick and they're just released. But all of them went down on the crime bill as arrested. So even though 2/5 were never charged or beat the case or were never charged, they still go down as part of the crime rate.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It is mischievous. That's
one way to put it. So, do you have any other final thoughts on anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, let me give this final thought. Now that we're and I'll keep it close to the Gabby Sidibe thing. There's going to be, because this is the way God works. There's going to be an unattractive, dark black man, whether he's chubby or not. He's going to come to the forefront within the next year and a half. And he's going to get with a nice looking, not black woman. And we would not pay attention to this guy, but somebody in the media is going to try to make it a point to run this guy through the ringer. And somebody's going to say, well, look at Gabby Sidibe. Look at how all those black men were mad. And somebody going to say, yeah, they was really pissed. But here we are in the current time, and none of that is happening. But they're going to make it seem like it happens a year and a half from now.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Because Christelyn's whole point when she was on her channel, not the video we just went through, was like all these men are dragging Gabby and laughing at her because she found love. I mean, all right, I know brothers take the mickey and, they use the weight, and obviously that's not nice. But no one's losing sleep over her getting with a white man. But that's the way they'll frame the conversation once a lot of the initial conversation dies down. That's why Christelyn kept saying, she found love where she couldn't go where you're celebrated. But No one's disputing that. No one did that in the first place.
I actually like Mr. Frankel. Mr. Frankel gets to be an older guy dating a younger woman. Mr. Frankel gets to look scruffy and unkept.
Is that the guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and that was what I wanted to say as well. She's, regardless of how she looks, she's an actress, right?
Right.
And you could tell me, out of all the white men you could have got, you picked this young man?
Well,
with all due respect.
Well, that's the classic thing, though. I mean, when you look at many women who have gotten with white guys, less than half of them have got with stellar white guys. I mean, most of the white guys.
This whole divesting and dating out, the way that they present it is the black woman is the creme de la creme of females, and when she dates out, that's it. She's getting this top tier dude. This is why when people like Cynthia G do this look who they really pick video, I'm looking like, have you seen the white men that these black women are actually getting with?
Have you seen Water Sniper's channel?
I have a little bit. I've been through a little bit. I haven't watched much of his content, but
that channel is amazing because he shows black women who've gotten killed, murdered by some of these white guys, and these white guys are way below standard. Way below standard. And you ask yourself, why would you even talk to that level of white man anyway?
Mm.
But guess what?
They do.
Video after video, that's what's happening. And to be honest, I know the game. You thought you was going to throw that magic vagina on this gullible guy, and he was just going to take you abusing him, and you not realize some of these guys ain't wrapped too tight.
You saw the white skin and you thought that's it.
Yeah.
I've got the daddy.
Yeah.
And I've got something to throw in the black man's face.
Right. Because like there's a couple of videos. This one girl was twerking behind.
I saw that. I
saw
that. Is that when the guy comes in and said, "I told you to stop twerking"?
Right. Right. I'm not even feeling you like that. There was this Jamaican girl out there where you at, and this happened like 5 years ago. Oh man, she was into that white guy so heavy. I used to follow her just in amazement because I could tell from his response he was there just for the sex. She would dress up in lingerie and he'd be like, ooh and ah. But when he was finished with her, he went back to a white woman and they got on video and they teased and laughed at her. He left her. And then she went from these black guys to, I don't understand why he did that. I just want to be loved. I'm like, but are you not recognizing your inner approach to the world when you thought you was winning?
Obviously not.
And now that you're not winning, you want to talk about how you was humble the whole time? That's not true.
The failed swallow coming back.
Yeah, that's just not true. Come on, lady. Or you had another lady who's out there too in England. I think she's from Haiti though. But she was with her white guy. He's taking her on trips. She's giving him all type of BJs. Well, 2 years doing that. Because in her mind, she was like, what type of wife would let her husband do something like that? Well, come to find out he was married the whole time.
Oh, no.
The whole entire time. And she's like, how could he be married when he might spend a week with me? That's what type of marriage they had.
Mm.
And here's my last point. 1992. I'm traveling through Austria. I went on the other side and started heading toward the mountains. I'm literally seeing Belgian women and all type of pretty white women sleeping with animals.
What?
Oh yeah. Just follow me for a second. I'm 22. I've heard about this, but guess what? After seeing it, I'm no longer surprised about mayonnaise people. Mayonnaise people can't shock me. And immediately, because there was no internet at the time, I went to the encyclopedia. It's called zoophilia.
Yeah.
And one of the guys I was hanging with says, why do you think they make dildos that look like horse penises? Do you actually think they can't make human ones that size? No, they make horse dildos for a reason. Because some people, it's still appealing to them. It reminds them of when they were on the farm. So with that, you look at Africa. Africa's the only place it really does not happen. It happens in southern Africa, but that's where the white folks is at. And it happens in Ethiopia. The rest of Africa don't happen. But virtually all through Europe, there's cases of zoophilia. Zoophilia.
Yeah. Even in Wales.
Right. Shoot, here in South Carolina.
Called doing things to sheep.
Right. So this is why I say we got to understand who the real enemy is. And when you get these Christelyn Carrison or these people going here making these long comments or try to make black women the enemy or black men the enemy, this is all a waste of time. This is all a waste of time. For the time me and you have been on YouTube, there have been several families who have bought the houses of black people. And now the children of those black people, all they ever know is an apartment. They don't know what it's like to grow up in the backyard.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like to sit on their front porch and come back at 36 and remember when they used to sit on their front porch and eat ice cream. Because the apartment they grew up in got tore down. And that's the problem, man. We are fighting. I like how Complex said it. We up here fighting all these variables. I can't fight. I need real numbers. Let me fight the 3s and you fight the 9s. I can't fight 3.1, 3.3, and 3.7 at the same time.
It's true.
Let me talk about you, Mr. Research, and call you this name and that name. But when I get caught up in my mouth, please come defend me.
Too much.
Didn't you see like that veganator thing where she invited the veganator on, and I think you said this. She invited the veganator on. Then when he starts calling her out of mouth, first thing out of her mouth is, "Why didn't black men defend me?" Huh?
I didn't say that, but I just said that Christelyn has got I don't know, maybe she's a glutton for punishment at this point. She just likes trying to join with people on social media, even though she has no clear goal in mind. I just don't understand why she felt the need to call in and try to school Jason Black.
Well, one of the black, I don't know if you ever saw that she tried to do something with the lady Abby. And it was yeah. She tried to do something. Yeah. She tried to do something with Abby, and one of Abby's dark-skinned models or dark-skinned students. When Abby walked away from that situation with Christelyn, all of a sudden this dark-skinned girl started getting tons of mail about how Abby hates black people and all this type of stuff. You see the chaos? And the black lady made a video, said, "I've never had any problem with Abby. I don't know where I'm getting all this stuff from. This is just amazing to me that I'm getting all of this and I never got it before." But when you look at the timeline, it's because Carrison no longer was dealing with her, and Carrison's minions start trying to paint this person.
Well, they're trying to slander her.
Right. And the same thing Jason Black said, like, well, why don't you admit that black men should be doing the same thing? And if black men shouldn't be doing the same thing, why are you trying to make it so? Why are you trying to make it a white I tell you, man. I tell you.
He played it very skillfully. He done well.
Yeah, it really did. All right, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, and I appreciate you coming through, man. This was a great discussion, and it's just a learning lesson for engaging people like this all the time. The straw man arguments need to stop, and the victimhood and the caping for no real reason needs to stop. So I just want to appreciate everybody who came through. We had a really good turnout. I really appreciate Complex, Brown Bird for coming up. All of you guys in the chat, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and the like. Go through the content. Check out Mr. Research, Complex Design, and everybody else who was here today. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Smash that like, darling.
Smash it, darling.